What are you laughing at?
I'm just giggling, dude.
Okay.
I'm gonna say giggler today.
Yeah, you are.
Feeling
Yeah.
giggly in my heart and soul.
Aw,
Something light.
it's so cute.
Yeah. It's just one of those days, brother. One of those days. Talk to
Yeah.
my. Did I tell you I talked to my financial advisor?
Financial.
Yeah. My accountant said we cannot do this anymore. He said we gotta do. He's like, Ruiz, you cannot quit your job to pursue podcasting with 13 views, 9 views, 5 subscribers.
Did he give like an estimate on what the view count is before you can retire?
He said at least 25.
Oh.
Minimums are 25.
Minimum.
And I talked to my
Safe minimum.
academic advisor,
Yeah.
and they were like, yeah, you got about, at your rate, you have about 6 to 13 years.
Man, 6 to 13, like a
For your-
lifespan.
For your associates, we're going to sentence you to 6 to 13.
Sheesh.
Yeah. I don't even need this right now.
No,
How are you?
I'm well, man. I'm well.
I want to get to know you.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm feeling good, man.
Take off your shirt. Please take it. Don't let it be
Don't
quiet.
say please.
No, how you been, bro? You got a new car?
Yeah, I got a new car. Yeah. I'm in the season of newness. You like that?
No, it was cringe, bro. Elaborate.
Okay.
How was the car? What was the experience like?
Golly. Yeah, no, I had the first like car salesman experience, and man, they
Describe him to me. Break him down for me. Or her. Or her.
I can't use names, but Puerto Rican dude, shorter, skinnier.
Jose. Right on the money. First guess.
Yes,
First guess. All right. Jose.
that's all I'm going with his name. But
Jose M.
young. How do you know him?
Dude, please tell me you're.
I'm so for real. I can show you on my phone. That is so crazy.
Dude, it's the most generic name you could possibly
Yeah,
have. For
anyways.
a Puerto Rican man.
That is hilarious. No, that's a crazy guess. But anyways, yeah, because my last car, I bought my dad's car off of him.
Yeah.
And so it was a simple process, no middlemen in it. But yeah, man, car salesmen, they're kind of snakes, man. Like
Little
they,
slimy little rats.
yeah, and no disrespect if that's what you do, but
Full disrespect if that's what you do.
if that's what you do, full disrespect.
Full disrespect. You're a scumbag. If you sell a 1994 Toyota Corolla to a minority mother with 3 kids, full well knowing that the transmission is gone, I hope you fall asleep tonight. I hope you curl up next to your partner, you snuggle up next to them, you fall asleep soundly, and then you feel something crawling on your leg tonight.
Whole lot of malicious intent there, for
Yeah,
sure.
Jose M.
Those-
Calling you out, Jose
oh
M.
my gosh, we're gonna get like a defamation
Yeah.
charge, man.
Nah, it's fine. We only got 9 views. It's really not. We can say it's like I told
That's
you today,
hilarious.
dude.
I know.
No career to lose.
Yeah.
So I can say whatever I want, and then one day when we blow up, all these clips will resurface, and we'll lose our platform.
It'd be a fun little circle of
It's
life.
about the
though,
journey,
something
not the
like that.
destination.
Yeah.
Anyways, they're all rats.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that there was a lot there. You have to tussle with them. I went in and I was like,
You were wrestling Jose M?
I was. You don't physically wrestle for the car.
You
That'd be a
physically
crazy
tussle.
concept. But no, you go in. I say that I only want to put this amount down, low amount, when I really had a bigger amount in mind, and to see how much they can work that price down for you. And bro, like they would. And shout out to my father. He's the only he was there. He's the only reason that I would have been pushed over because I didn't know car sales like
Yeah.
that. I don't know if you've ever.
I've never. No,
No.
I inherited that 2003 Ford Explorer Sport Track,
Yeah, right.
the
That's
pimp
true.
wagon. Yeah,
Yeah.
I inherited that, and
Big red.
then I received my current car. I'm not going to disclose it to you.
Mm-hmm.
I will disclose it to you.
Oh.
I received that one from my parents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
'Cause I'm
Right.
spoiled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's okay.
So no, I've never had that experience of having to deal with a slimy little.
Yeah. My dad
salesman.
has. My dad's been there, done that, so he helped me with that, and they slowly like work that price down, and yeah, I mean, got it for a good price. But yeah, there's that. Graduating in a month now.
Dude, that's so sick.
It's good. Yeah,
I'm
it's
so
really-
happy for you,
yeah,
dude. That's
thanks,
genuinely
man.
sick.
Thanks. Had someone come in today actually. Usually when colleges they invite somebody in to speak, it's
Like
always
a career day,
yeah, but not really career day.
parent
but
teacher
it's
career day.
not exactly no, but it's always like pro grad school propaganda. Like it's always trying to get everyone that's in their bachelor's and trying to convince them that okay, but that's not it. You have to do one more thing, and it's like to go to grad. But this lady today, she works at Raymond James, big pregnant belly. She's like on her 3rd kid.
Yikes! Not listening to her, dude.
No, she had some. She's the only person that I've heard like someone come in and speak that like called out the kids that have not been working a job that's relevant to their major. Mm-hmm. She's like, if you truly want to be successful in the business field, you have to not stop, being a stay-at-home student, full-time student. That doesn't exist.
You cannot be a stay-at-home mom.
Yeah.
If you want to be successful in business, you could not be a mother.
No, those are all their own beautiful missions. Yeah. But in terms of a majority of people in that classroom, it was like, you have a lot of people that work at like coffee shops or like, what I'm saying? And there's nothing wrong with those. But if your major's finance, trying to come out of college with a finance degree and 3 years at Foxtail, it just...
No, I mean, it makes sense, dude. Finance, like count the quarters, make the coffee.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what you pay for a 4-year university for, right? Learn how to make a cappuccino.
Yeah, man.
I mean, in this climate and this economy, everyone's got a degree, dude. You need a degree to work at the daggone TJ Maxx.
Yeah, it feels like it.
It's like, oh, you want to sell those weird lemon cookies? At least a master's.
The Girl Scouts got degrees now.
No, you know what I'm talking about? Guys, back me up. You ever been in one of those like TJ Maxx, Marshalls, Ross, one of those like very estranged mother attractors? They just attract like all the middle-aged, all middle-aged women, mothers.
Yeah.
And they just like go to there in droves because they're like, how can I justify spending $300 of my husband's money today?
Right.
What if I bought a bunch of miscellaneous items? What if I bought a hen? Right? A hen with human hands holding up a sign that says fish market. My husband would love that.
That's going to go kill her in the guest bathroom.
This is going to rip in the guest bedroom. Yeah, so it's like, so that's the store, right?
Yeah.
And then they sell food.
Yep.
I don't know how they got their food license.
No.
Marshalls, Ross, and TJ Maxx should not be allowed to sell food. And inside of those, it's like in their food aisles, it's the most estranged, like corporate propaganda food.
Yeah.
It's like, how would you like this tangerine flavored cardboard disc?
Literally.
How does that sound?
I don't know how it's legal.
It should, dude. You know what? TJ Maxx, I'm filing a lawsuit right now. Right as the moment of this is coming out, for you guys should not be allowed to sell food. You know, RFK's like, we gotta break down on the big guys like McDonald's. No. RFK, this is a appeal to your ethos here. Start for the average Americans who are suffering from middle-aged mothers going to Ross and buying ungodly popcorns and cookies for their families and putting them in their stockings at Christmas and for birthday presents. That's where you need to start.
Man, yeah, no, like the whole jalapeno cheddar chocolate chip cookie popcorn that cannot fly anymore.
Yeah.
That can't fly.
Yeah, no, we got the caramel fish flavored popcorn.
Man, bro, yeah. Yeah, hopefully we can move past that.
We got to get past that, guys. As a society, first of all, we got to stop supporting Ross. All right, they're hurting big Fortune 500 companies like Nike, Vans, large companies that sell their clothes and shoes at a discount. Man. We have to stop the discount store.
Stop it now.
If you want to help the rich get richer, stop the discount store.
Next topic is...
But no, you've been good. I haven't talked to you.
Yeah, I know.
I've been so busy. You've been so busy.
Yeah.
How have you been, man?
I've been well, man. I'm just like, I'm enjoying life. I really am just a standard guy.
Just a mixed brother.
I'm just a mixed brother trying to make it in America. Absolutely. You trying to imitate me? Oh,
I'm trying to impress you. Remember I told you to take your shirt off?
You did say that. I was gonna clip that part out, but for context.
You know what? It's funnier if you do. Go ahead. It's like, what do you mean?
What do you mean? You took the shirt off.
That's good, dude. I'm happy.
Yeah,
I've missed you, man.
Man, I miss you too, man.
It's like, I always like it. I was a little bummed today, full transparency, when I called you and you're like, tonight might not work out.
Yeah.
I was walking through my local community college seething, dude,
sure.
looking at all of these other individuals 40 plus walking down. I was like, I hate all of you right now.
I told you, it was just it caught me in the stress moment.
Dude, we've all been there.
All been there.
We've all been there.
Yeah.
I forgive you.
Thanks. I know
you've made a mistake that you're embarrassed of and that you're upset that I'm publicizing, so I forgive you publicly.
Thank you.
On air.
I truly appreciate that.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, man. But you, man, past couple weeks, any highlights?
Oh, been good. Oh, guys, I know that all 9 of you are so eager to hear. annotated bibliography from week 1, episode 1. Finally got graded. Got a 99 out of 100 on it.
Come on, big cheers, big claps.
Big cheers. Yeah, yeah. I'm a stud.
Yes.
Community college. You watch out. That's not a threat. My community college.
I know.
I'm not a threat. Please. No, it's been good.
Yeah.
Grades are okay. Obviously, I'm chief procrastinator. Anytime that there's an opportunity to procrastinate, or they're like, "Oh, there's a grace period," I'm Grace.
That's well said.
I'm Grace, dude. If there's a grace period,
yeah,
I'm Grace, dude.
Gracie, little Gracie over
I'm
here.
little Gracie, dude. I'm gonna submit it late.
Yeah.
I'm gonna type out a final paper.
Right.
In 3 hours. I'm gonna type it out. I'm gonna use dictation on my Word document. I'm gonna type it out.
True. Yeah.
And I'm gonna say, speaking of, dude, I just wrote a paper. Top 10 most embarrassing moments of my entire life. Just wrote a paper for my English composition course because I'm dumb and I have to take that in college. I wrote a feminist paper. I wrote feminist propaganda. Dude, I was looking for the easy lay.
What do you mean?
All my associates were writing about Hercules and Gladiator and Ratatouille.
Yeah.
And I said, feminism, easy lay. What? Prime Kobe.
How did you get in that situation? What was the prompt?
So the prompt was, it's a film analysis, right? And I was like, okay, I'm quirky, I'm cool, I'm weird, everyone loves me, I'm so like unique, I love like weird movies.
Yeah.
And so I was just like talking to one of my fellow classmates, and I was like, what movie are you gonna do? And this grown man looks me in my eyes and says, I think I'm gonna do Mrs. Doubtfire. I'm like, yeah, this is a college class.
Okay.
Yeah, please do Mrs. Doubtfire. And I was like, I'm so dark and mysterious as a joke. And I was like, I might do like some kind of like, societal commentary film like The Substance, starring Demi Moore, which is a good movie. It is, but I was just making a joke. I was like, I'm because I was trying to be like, oh, I'm all dark and mysterious.
Yeah.
And my teacher overheard me. My leftist.
Oh, yeah, college campus.
My flaming leftist criminal teacher was like, you do that. She went full muscle man Randy Savage, like, brother, you better do that. Like, she came over and was like, please do that. But she was like genuine. She was like, all these other kids, they keep picking like Disney movies. She's like, please, something different. She literally said that. She was like, please. So I was like, at that point I hadn't settled even on a topic. At that point I can't let her down. I can't be like, oh, actually I'm just going to do Cars 3 because I want to see lightning crash.
No.
And cry and I'm be like, oh, yeah. So I had to do The Substance, which again is a great movie, but it's about like the unrealistic beauty standards that like Hollywood places on women, and then like how society views aging women, and like how like they are often disregarded as because of like their lack of usefulness, not even just their beauty, but that because they're no longer able to like, it's just like this like humanistic thing of being like, oh, they're not fertile, so they're not useful in a sense. Like once they start going through menopause and really showing signs of aging, that like society ostracizes aging women. It's kind of like a commentary on that.
Yeah.
And, me as a 21-year-old pressure washer said, yeah, I have authority to speak on I have authority to talk about the women's body issues.
Yeah, let's see.
So then I had to, I think I might have brought this up last episode. I had to research women's like body dysmorphia and then like all of these like women's issues as, again, 21-year-old pressure washer. I had to like study this to write a film analysis.
Wow.
And so it literally just sounds like feminist propaganda. Yeah. My whole paper, at one point, I call one of the characters named Harvey, the producer, I called him a savage.
Wow.
I called the only
Who are you?
Male lead, like male, like prominent character, savage.
Now let me ask you, does this professor have shaved sides?
No. I was just joking about that.
Okay, cool.
I was just joking. She's chill.
I was just checking.
No, she's chill. Here, if you have a second.
I have a second.
You have a couple seconds?
I got multiple, yeah.
Okay, I'll just read you my opening paragraph.
Oh my, here we go.
All right. Here, let me get a sip of coffee.
Yep.
Lock in.
Log in. Oh my goodness.
In a time when a woman's value is strictly determined by youth and beauty, what happens if one fading Hollywood star can hold on to her youth, even if just for a moment? In the film The Substance by director Coralie Farge, pretty sure that's how you pronounce that, the intense combination of psychological horror and crude commentary on the modern beauty industry demonstrates the immense struggle and cost of the contemporary ideological perspectives of female beauty standards. The film follows a famous fitness celebrity, Elizabeth Sparkle, that's her name in the film, who is slowly being phased out of her industry due to aging. Through an unfortunate series of events, Elizabeth comes upon a miracle treatment known as the substance, allowing her to reinvigorate herself and develop a new persona. This new persona develops into a young, idealistically beautiful film star named Sue. Sue embodies Elizabeth's once promising career that can now exist through this alter ego. This film follows the rapid disintegration of what appears to be a dream into a harrowing nightmare. Fargay creates this hellish scenario using grotesque bodily horror and contrasting duality. Through the juxtaposed experiences of Elizabeth and Sue, the film illustrates how society's obsession with beauty and youth shatters female identity and breeds self-loathing, ultimately exposing how deeply internalized conflicts lead to psychological collapse and destruction.
You're a strong man.
I am a strong... So any women out there who's looking for a feminist...
You could have done Batman.
God, why would you say that? You know how much I love Batman. I didn't even think about that.
You could have done Batman. It would have been an insane piece.
How feminist is that?
No, that's very...
It sounds intellectual, and it's true. It's true.
But it's true. And because there's some levels of feminism that, like, it's fair. Like,
that's fair.
That's fair.
But, again, what agency do I have as a idiot? I'm not educated on... Even, like, the topics that I did for my NO bib, 99 out of 100.
Nice.
Even those, like, I felt like the guy who did a peer review on my paper today was like, dude, you did, like, this is a great paper and everything. And I'm like I wasn't even really happy, like, with it.
Yeah.
Because I was worried that, again, it came across too, like, oh, look at me, I'm a feminist. I felt like it was not that the topic was, like, bad, because you should talk about those type of issues. Like, that's a good thing. That's a good thing to talk about. Like, you should talk about that.
Right.
But I felt like it came across too, like, hoity-toity.
No, I mean... Because you say the whole, like, where's my place or my place to say that. And it's like, I don't know, you're called to kind of do your due diligence and research in other areas you might not be expert in.
Yeah, I mean, as a man who objectifies women, I think...
You're fairly qualified.
I think I can commentate on that.
Here's the thing, you have street cred now. And it's not like, like Detroit wrong. Street cred, but it's like Gay Pride Festival street cred. I
would argue that's better than street. I can go to any coffee shop I want, any library, any public institution, any and all Hot Topics.
Yeah, that's
50% off.
So 50.
If this gets published, 50% off everything.
Wow.
Dude, you know what?
You think a long term.
Now that I'm here, I'm stoked. This might be a new opportunity. This might counterbalance the thing that I said that was controversial earlier.
Yeah.
Come on.
Rock it on,
Give
dude.
me some skin.
Rock it on.
Some skin.
That's skin.
Yeah, so
that's skin.
I also made an oopsie this week.
Uh-oh. Talk about it.
Now that you want me to, I kind of don't want to, dude.
Oh, I don't even want to hear about it, man.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so actually, so I did the biggest oopsie that I told myself I would not do.
Mm.
Right, and at least until we had this kind of developed, we have our rhythm. Like right now, I feel like we have good banter.
Yeah.
So I feel like we're starting to develop. Come episode 5,
no doubt,
we're going to be like elite level podcasters, right? But I was like, we're not there yet. I'm going to wait before I tell anybody that I'm even doing this. Up until about 2-3 days ago, the only people who were aware in my immediate circle, excluding you and your family and your girlfriend, the only people who knew about this, that this even existed, was Hannah.
Mm.
And that's it.
Yeah.
And so I was talking to my dad, and we were watching baseball, and he was like, oh, we should do a podcast. He's like, what if we filmed ourselves reacting to the baseball game? And
you
I was
brought
like,
that up.
Yeah, my dad was like, what if we started a podcast? Which,
that's dope.
That would be so cute.
Yeah,
that would be so fun. That'd be something precious. I think I would probably do a couple episodes. I might not post it, but just to have, that would be something that's like, when you're old and you're like looking back and you're like, oh, it was my dad.
Yeah.
Right. So he was like he was like, no, like, let's, like, he was like seriously like pushing, like, this needs to be done.
Right.
He's like, we could do this to get, again, completely unaware that for the past month and a half, I've been like actively like working on YouTube and like doing the podcast and like doing my own thing and everything like that. Completely unaware.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what, Dad, I can't right now. I already have another podcast. And he's like, oh, yeah, I remember you filmed that. Because remember a couple years ago, I did that sports podcast.
Sports podcast, yes.
And he's like, yeah, I remember you did a previous. He's like, that's why I'm saying that. Because you have like some kind of experience. I was like, no. I currently have a podcast. He's like, what? I was like, I currently have a podcast. Now, for context, I don't, at this point in my life, I don't, like, if I'm doing something similar to this,
Yeah.
something that's kind of outside of my bounds, especially if it's like outside of college or my career or whatever, I like kind of try to keep it private because I have a tendency of like saying I'm gonna do something and then not doing it, like every human being ever.
We've all been there, yeah.
You know what I mean? So I was like, I'll wait to talk about this. And so I've been keeping a lot of things hush because also in the past, like I've told my parents something, and because they love me so much, they like look out for me. So like they think of all the things that maybe I don't think, like the logistical stuff, right? So like when I was like, if I was like, oh, I want to be a painter, my parents would be like, okay, well, you know, you might want to go to school and blah blah blah. You need to buy this kind of, you know, blah blah blah. And they would think of all like the logistical stuff. Yeah. Meanwhile, I'm just thinking, I want to be a painter. Yeah. So I didn't tell them that I wanted to do a podcast. It's making noise on the thing. So I was like, okay, I'm not going to tell them I'm doing the podcast. So I told him, and he's like, what? You're doing a podcast? I was like, yeah, I'm doing a podcast. And he's like, no way. He's like, can I hear? And I had that clip that you had sent me.
Oh yeah.
That happened to be about my dad. So it was like the perfect situation. Yeah. Again, you sent me the full video and it just happened to clip to that.
Absolutely, yeah.
And so I was like, you can watch this like 4-minute clip if you want. And he's like, oh yeah, you know, please. And it was just him and I. We were just, my mom was like doing whatever and Carson was out of the house.
Yeah.
And so I showed him it and he was like he genuinely watched. So he watched the whole thing, and like he just like looks up at me, and got amped, like fired up, like fully ecstatic, like it was like you could see like his eyes like lit up. Yeah. And he was like, this is what all he said. He's this. You need to do this. Wow. He's like, this is what you need to do. Like this is it. Like this is what, and he was like full on like fire. That's like awesome. It, like he like started like literally like running in the kitchen. Like, he's like jumping and like bouncing. Like he was like he had just drank a freaking rock star energy drink. Was literally jumping off the walls. Yeah. And so I just started like explaining to him kind of the concept of our podcast and everything like that, showing him some more kind of clips and stuff. Mm-hmm. And he's like, dude, this is it. This is what you need to do right now, right? That's really cool. So I was like, yeah, thank you. Like it did mean a lot to me because like I've had a couple situations where like I have told my parents that I wanted to do something and they kind of like shot me down. And this, I was kind of expecting that again. My dad would be like, Ruiz, you're in college right now. Like you should probably focus on just college right now. And he was the complete opposite of what I was expecting. Like especially from your dad. People out there with dads, leave a comment. Say I have a dad. Say daddy. Just say daddy. One word. Daddy. But people who have dads say daddy. But yeah, but anyone who has like a father figure who cares about them will always, they're just looking out for your best interest, right? Always, you know, always. Obviously you know. Absolutely. And yeah, and so then my mom comes out of her room or whatever. He's like, babe, you gotta check this out. He was like, you have to see. Like, he was fully like freaking out, and they watched it. I showed him also my personal YouTube channel, which is so bad. I rewatched it. I was like, oh my, dude, this is so boring. I literally want to gouge my eyeballs out. It's good. It's solid stuff. And so I was like, oh yeah, but they were amped. They were amped, dude. That's really cool. So now I have to really be cautious about saying something racist because I think my dad is subscribed to our podcast channel. Man, hey, it can get a little fun sometimes, man. I mean, it's fine if it gets a little dicey, but no slurs. Slurs are where we draw the line. I wasn't even thinking slurs. Were you thinking slurs? No, me slurs. You can't even put my name in the same sentence as a slur. Ruiz says slurs. Oh man. That's awesome, though. No, I can imagine your dad. If you're watching this, Mr. Hugo, hello. That's all you got to say. You're amazing. I miss you. I got to come see you soon. There we go. Absolutely. But yeah, I was just not expecting it at all. I just wasn't. I mean, I hate to be that. Again, it's nothing against my parents. It's just sometimes you just don't always expect. No, it's true. You expect a certain reaction, and when you get something opposite to it, it's like, oh, wow, that was. Yeah. That was so like it's something that I remember. I'm gonna remember for a long time. But also it I don't know how to phrase this. Help me out here. It like sparked. Rekindled. I don't want to say rekindled is I guess good. I mean not that I was not fired up. Yeah. But yeah, I would say like you like put like this like passion in me. Like I was already very passionate about this. Dude, when I tell you I look forward. That's why I think whenever I got frustrated this afternoon, it wasn't because like we didn't communicate it. It was strictly because like I have been looking. This is like my outlet. This is like my thing that I love doing. Like I hold it in my little hand. Absolutely. Like a baby bird. I'm like, hey, you want some seed, baby bird? No, it's not you. You're not the. You're not the bird, dude. Okay. I can show you the bird. Nothing. Oh, family friendly. Show this to your kids. It's good. We're gonna start putting this as this is like video for kids. on the function when you post. You know, it says, "Is this video made for kids?"
Wow.
Rawr.
Dinosaur content.
We should start bringing the dinosaurs and be like fighting with
Right.
them.
We can expand our market. It's really,
You're right,
I'm in business school. I know about that.
We should start having dancing fruit just playing behind us, or like GTA, like those GTA videos.
You ever seen Peanut Butter Jelly Time? You know the banana that spins around?
No, because
I'm gonna edit it right
with
here
all
just
due
because.
respect, I'm not on the spectrum.
You. I'm done. I'm not gonna say
we
anything
move.
past that. We move. We both.
Go ahead and pull a picture of my girlfriend. Beautiful girlfriend.
That's for you. That's for you. I know.
Go ahead and pull up a picture of the girl.
Oh my! The girls.
Put up the girls. Go ahead and pull a picture of the girls.
Right here. Awesome.
We're gonna cut out. Just gonna be a whole.
Let's put like.
I'm gonna send that video. I'm gonna send that picture of when we went to Disney, and it's all four of us when we went to
Yes.
Hollywood. I'm just gonna
night.
edit it out. I'm just gonna black out Hannah.
And Alexis, just me and you.
Show a picture of the girls.
Throw the girls up there.
Throw the girls up there. Yeah, no, but you had a job interview that went well.
Yeah, it was. It's like a multi-stage interview, and
Break it down for me. You said you had a walkthrough. You ride along.
Yeah,
Had a cop style ride along at an insurance company.
Yeah, pretty much. So, yeah, there was a qualification phone call that was like 45 minutes long, and it was like interview style, but it was basically the qualification for the interview, and you had to take also an assessment test that was pretty freaking hard before that, but.
It showed four shapes.
Okay, come on.
And then it said, you have a circle.
No, if anybody...
Which shape can you fit in? And it was ABC.
No, there's some people are applying for jobs, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. And so anyways, there was that, right? And there's the pre-qualification, and then she let me know that there was an in-person interview for a behavioral interview, and I scheduled that for April 7th. And then I went in, felt really good about it. They did this whole STAR style interview, which is like, they give you really open-ended questions. They say like, hey, explain to me a situation when so and so, right? It's not like they structure the question.
Okay. So like...
so STAR, it stands for like situation, task, some result, right?
Yeah. Have you describe to me a situation where someone has been confrontational
Yeah,
towards you and how you settled that.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And I honestly, I was just like right away, like went right into the answer. So I felt really confident in that. And then afterwards, they let me shadow somebody that's been doing the work for a little bit and felt really good about it. So I'm not trying to get too excited because it's a really cool schedule. I would be working remote Thursday, Fridays.
That's so cool.
So
the hybrid job is the dream.
But I'm not going to hype it up because there's no guarantees.
No, we're going to speak it, dude.
We're
going to start manifesting on this channel. Okay. I don't believe in manifesting, but I think it's cool if you're right.
Jesse Palmer does. You know Jesse Palmer?
No.
Sports announcer? Bachelor Chad?
Jesse Palmer was on The Bachelor. He has like a faux hawk. Yeah. He's tall, white, beard. Yep.
He believes in
Look at that. I just pulled that out of the ether. Just
that was really good.
Reached back there, said, think of every basic white guy. No. Not Tim Tebow. No. Not Ernie.
Oh my god.
Pull him out. Pull Palmer out of me, please. Please get Palmer out of me.
Palmer, no.
Get out of me, Palmer.
And he pulled him right out. It came out like a little gumdrop.
Like a what?
Like a little gumdrop.
Thank you for enunciating. That really helps with the way that sounded.
I'm English.
English. Oh, God. There goes the career.
What? This?
Nothing. Nope. Don't even worry about it. Well, we move.
Oh, yeah.
I would say that this podcast is already helping me out in my own private life. So, for those of you who don't know, Jay, even if you don't know, I have horrible social anxiety, which is audacious considering what we're doing right now. You would think like speaking on camera and like having this kind of interaction with...
And by the way, I want to just preface that he's one of the best like extroverted communicators that I've met in a long while.
It's called a facade. Facade. Google it. Go ahead, pull up the definition. Facade.
Let's do it.
Right there.
I don't know how to spell it.
Me neither.
Oh, there we go.
Facade.
Facade can refer to the front of a building or a false or misleading outward appearance.
I used that correctly. Gang. That's the community college, dude. That's the English comp to feminist paper right there. Facade. No, it's a facade. No, I have horrible social anxiety. Like, arguably, like, crippling. Like, I literally avoid situations where I have to interact with strangers because it makes me so anxious. So, like, today I had to go communicate, right, with a academic advisor, like what I said at the beginning of this.
Right.
I was so nervous, dude. I was sweating. I had to sign in and just wait for them to call my name. I was like, what if I say something wrong and like they don't understand what I'm saying? And so it's just like all those thoughts. Like anyone who's ever had anxiety think like they know exactly what I'm talking about. Where it's like it just like rattles and you're like, okay, but like what if I say the wrong thing and then like I end up not getting what I need out of this, or like what if I fumble, or like what if I just do something stupid, or like you're thinking through all the scenarios that could go wrong, right? And then you start planning what you're gonna say, and you're like, hello. I am looking to schedule classes.
Yeah,
you just sound like a goon.
Right.
And so I was like, I have the worst anxiety. I think they call it telephone anxiety. I don't call strangers. If there's a number where it's like, please call for more information, I just won't get the information.
What?
I will just be ignorant the rest of my life.
I would have never even guessed. And you're my best friend. I would have never guessed.
Yeah, because I put on this facade. But I am shaking. Like, dude, I remember one time I had to give like a little lesson at church. I left a puddle in my seat, dude. When I got up, there was literally a puddle of sweat. I was so my knees were gonna buckle.
Man.
But I get up there and I crack a joke. Like even still coming over to your house today gave me anxiety.
Yeah.
I've been to your house like 100 times.
By the way, every Wednesday he comes in and he does his little comedy skit downstairs with my family. It's awesome. It's awesome. But he has this banter with my dad, and then he always has to come in, make a little like borderline racist joke.
That doesn't sound like something I would do personally.
And then has a little bit of banter, and then we come upstairs. But yeah, man. I mean, you're based on what you've done, like with your job wise. Run me through it real quick, because your jobs have had to require some kind of social.
Yeah, so what happens is that like I get in my truck, I drive to a job, I spray water, get back in the truck, go home.
I know, but in the past you had Home Depot.
Yeah, it's still, well, that's different because again, maybe I'm schizophrenic.
Is that your conclusion?
That I might have like multiple personality disorder. No, because like I said, I put on a facade. I have a gilded personality. Go ahead, pull up the definition right here. Bang.
Gilded.
If you watch my YouTube channel, bang.
Bang.
Gilded definition, not the company.
The Saudi version? Okay, no. Covered thinly with a gold leaf or gold.
Exactly.
Paint. That's sweet.
So I have this like outward persona that's like gilded, kind of like a facade.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so like, yeah, no, I just struggle with that. Like I just get so anxious. And so like when I would go to Home Depot, I would just cover myself in gold paint, literally. And I would walk in there in a G-string and I would talk to in my apron. Just a G-string apron.
Oh my gosh, covered in gold.
Covered in gold paint.
Wow.
Fully William Poulter and Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Wow.
Full, that's how I went in every single day. No, but I would go in. Yeah, I just like, I think I would make, this is not me being like, oh, look at me. I think I would make an exceptional actor. You know how much I love to lie. I love to lie, dude. It tickles my fancy, dude.
It does.
Whatever my fancy it is, it's being tickled when I lie. Because I love lying. Which is that's going to be clipped. And they're like, look at this evil man. When I'm in court one day, he loves to lie.
I love lying.
No, I literally love lying. No, I love it, dude. You've seen me at work where I'll make up this fantastical story. That's not like when I told you guys I produced that German song.
Okay, that one was a straight up lie. You're really good at like healthy stretching the truth.
I can sell it. I can just sell it.
Yeah.
I told you I produced a song in Germany, and your girlfriend, you may not have fully believed me, but my girlfriend and your girlfriend were fully like, and my girlfriend knows I didn't do that.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh my God, Ruiz, I didn't know you did that. Even when we got in the car, she's like, I did not know you made that song in Germany. And I was like, I didn't. I was lying. I was lying through my teeth. I can sell a lie. So what I'm saying is I think I would have made it in a different life if I would have maybe worn a little more pink growing up. I think I would have been an actor or something.
Or a car salesman.
Or the two biggest lying industries, actors and car salesmen. That's you, Jose M. Don't think I forgot.
That is so hilarious that you got that on point, man.
Jose M, we're coming for you.
Oh my god.
Just kidding. It's allegedly. We're coming for you allegedly. But no, I think I would have been an actor in a different life because I can put on the performance of a lifetime.
Yeah.
And if you've also noticed, I'm a social chameleon. So I can just take on whatever persona. I can just fully convert into whoever I'm socializing with.
Yeah.
When I'm with my good buddy Anthony from Michigan, I take on his accent. I talk how he talks. I become interested in the things he's interested in, even if I myself, as my real self, am not. I can do that with anybody. I do that with your dad. I come in, I just say what I think he thinks would be funny. I think it's also funny because it's mildly, acutely, maybe offensive and slightly, maybe tiny, allegedly a little bit kind of slightly racist. But it's funny. It's funny. It's I'm trying to be funny.
Takes the edge off.
But yeah, but like it's just a facade because even when I'm making those jokes and everyone's laughing, in my head, I'm like, that wasn't funny, which is crazy. It's like if I was in a room full of 10,000 people and every single one of them was laughing, I would still think that maybe they're just laughing out of pity. Like it's a pity laugh. That's what I'm saying. Like it's this crazy like mental gymnastics. But I say all of that to say I'm sitting there waiting for my academic advisor. I'm sweating, tingling, dude. My fancy is not tingling in this situation. It's something else that's tingling. Ooh. And I'm sitting there and I walk up to, they call my name. I'm like, oh God, like I have to get up and not talk. I walk over, right? And I'm like,
yep.
Hello. Fully confident. I'm like, yeah, that doesn't sound like me. Usually I'd be like, hey, hey. Like that.
Kermit.
Yeah. Hey, so I'm looking for a... No, I would have... So I walked up and I was like, hey. And she's like, hello. And I was like, hi, how are you today? Like I was like, okay, I'm having a normal... Like I have conversations with everybody.
Normal.
But this sounded so... I was like so like confident. Like once I got up there, I was like, yeah, no, I'm just looking for... I'm looking to, you know, get my schedule for this following semester. I have a couple curiosities about my schedule, if it meets all the requirements for me to transfer to USF, because I saw that to receive my associates, I only require about, 20 credits, 24 credits or so. So I'm just looking to make sure that those credits that are currently on my plan are what I need. Fully confident. Didn't stumble, didn't say or like or anything one time.
Yeah.
And I the whole time I was just like, this is gang. I think it's because of this. I think it's because I'm trying. I know I've probably said like or or whatever filler words probably 100 times in just this short, however long we've been filming, 3 hours I think it is. But I've probably said it a ton. But I think that not am I saying it the whole time. But I think that it's helping me be more confident when I do speak and be more assertive. Like I know what I want to say. In my brain, like the way my brain works, which we'll move into the topic here soon. The way my brain works is such a fascinating hellscape. It's like burning Toyota Priuses just all in there and just the Eiffel Tower. I don't even know.
Yeah.
And so like I feel like sometimes when I speak, it doesn't fully come across like what I'm saying makes any sense. So then I think that's where a lot of the anxiety comes from. But I know what I want to say. Like when I'm talking, I know what I want to say.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of I'm confident. I know what I'm going to say.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, there's the age old saying, think before you speak. But I think what gets caught up sometimes is you overthink before you speak. And I'm not saying you, I'm just talking about it as a...
The problem is I think after I speak.
And after.
Ugh.
But you can't escape. You'll never escape that. After you speak, you're going to be
You sound just like my therapist. You'll never get over this, by the way.
No, I'm just saying thinking about your words after you speak. I mean, yeah, you can be like petty over some things, but I don't know. It's just something that goes through your head all the time.
I should just engage in illicit drug usage to help numb the...
Oh, first season of Severance done.
What'd you think?
It's a really good show.
I told you the last 2 episodes, jaw on the floor.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, it's a really good show. I'm not going to say anything.
When you find out who the therapist is, you're just like, literally, like in the second to last episode, you're just like,
right,
jaw on the floor.
Yeah, no spoilers.
Wait till you watch season 2. If you think that was crazy, this one starts off hot. Season 2 starts off, just picks off right where you left off.
Yeah.
It's so good, dude. Yeah. Severance is such a good show.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I like the actor.
Didn't happen to watch The Secret Life of Walter Mitty too, did you?
I did not.
Honestly, it's fine. I probably way oversold that.
You did sell that a lot, but I want to watch it now that you hyped it up so much.
But now I realize, dude, like I looked at 4 Christmases starring Vaughn. What's his name? Big, tall, plays himself in every movie. Vince Vaughn. 4 Christmases starring Vince Vaughn has like a 40 on. Pull it up. What's 4 Christmases? The movie. What does it have on Rotten Tomatoes? Pull it up. We don't have a guy, guys. It's just Jay. Jay's the guy. Yeah. How did you spell 4 Christmases wrong?
I didn't.
Okay, you gotta go to the Rotten Tomatoes, dude.
I know, it's here.
25%. A 25.
Yeah.
A 5.7 out of 10 on IMDb.
But that's all. It's all paid for. The Rotten Tomatoes ratings.
Click on it. Click on the Rotten Tomatoes,
right,
dude. Yeah. Even the fan score was 47. Did we watch the same movie?
It was a good movie.
I'd be giggling when I watch this, bro.
You be giggling.
I giggle so hard when I watch this, dude. I love this movie. This is arguably my favorite Christmas movie.
Yeah. No, I've seen like comparisons to other like well done films. I'm pretty sure there was one like Inception or something.
It has like a low rating.
Yeah, and it has like a low rating. And then you have like The Good Robot, and that might have been a good movie. I know you talked about that before.
I cried 3 times.
I get that, and I need to watch it. But it had literally off gate 99% Rotten Tomatoes.
It's such a good movie.
But I'm just saying, and it was
no, they do pander. They try. I think the studio pays.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, and there's like also they go to like those certain screening events. So like the actual Rotten Tomato score is actually just critics, like actual like verified critics.
Yeah.
And so, like, yeah, you can just show it at specific festivals where you know that, like, the critics will pander more to, like, you know, whatever film. Like, you wouldn't play a Disney movie at, like, a horror festival. Like, you go to a certain, like, festival or whatever early screening where you know that they're going to be, like, you wouldn't invite, you know, like, some paper who, you know, publishes a bunch of, like, easy work for, like, a really in-depth movie, because they'll be like, this is not good. Like, my audience, because they're also writing for their audience. Like, all of those critics are writing for their own audience, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
They're not going to publish a, you know, paper that they know their audience isn't going to like and give it a high score.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. So, yeah, I mean, that's an attack on Rotten Tomatoes, right?
Yeah, Rotten Tomatoes, just like TJ Maxx, Ross, and Home Goods.
Yeah. Marshalls. Look like a lemon.
Dude, I'm good. Why don't you, did you do any research this week or no?
Yeah, I did. I did a little bit of research. It's on... It's so pitiful.
Dude, I'm good, dude.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, I did a little bit of research this week. I did it on something that I find really fascinating. And I know it's something that you know that I find fascinating. So, any guesses there?
Just going to breathe heavy the whole time.
Of course you are.
Any guesses? So something that you like that I will know that you like. Oh, think conflicts. Think global conflicts right now. Think China, Taiwan. Is it about the Chinese Taiwan?
Nothing political or world.
Okay, so it's religious.
It's okay. You know, I'm just gonna before you go down
Give
some
me at
rabbit
least
holes.
15 more minutes, dude, to think this through.
Okay, one solid guess and we'll go.
The Hamburglar from McDonald's, and how he's a poor representation for the ethnic jail crisis.
That's a future episode potentially, but not this episode. Okay. This
Fine, go ahead and
episode.
blow my mind.
Yeah. So, me and Ruiz, we went on this walk last time.
If this is
afterwards.
UFOs, dude, I'm gonna literally stab you.
Not gonna be UFOs, but what it's gonna be is something that's up in the sky. And so I had been telling him that I had been seeing things in the sky lately, right? I sent him this video of these line of stars, quote unquote stars, and I was like, it's over. Like, they're here. Whoever they are, they're here.
They're here.
They're here. I'm gonna put a video because I sent you the video. I'm gonna put the video up.
Pull it up,
for
Jamie.
for context. And I know there's some smarter people out there than me that know that this is a freaking satellite. I get it. But if you are like fresh to the world, like a new little baby boy like me, that's not normal.
If you are toddler or maybe dumb, you think that this is alien.
And so and then lately at night too, and you could even see out the sky on any given night, you'll see like little things that aren't planes, that are obviously not planes, that are going through the sky.
Like helicopters.
No, they're out there.
Drones,
and they're satellites too. They're satellites too. But I'm just being dramatic about it. But anyways, I told him that, and we went on a walk, and we had like a good conversation, and then I stop him very dramatically because 10 minutes, 15 minutes after I had said that, something flew through the sky.
Yeah, something did fall from the sky.
Thank you, because he's been denying it in front of the people that we've been talking to, and he's made me look like a sociopath.
Something fell from the sky.
Something fell from the sky.
Very Chicken Little.
It sky is falling type, and it was, and this one was different though. This wasn't like the satellites we've been seeing. That one was straight debris. Yeah. That was debris coming towards the Earth. But it's just funny the timing of that. So anyways, I've been really fascinated just looking at the sky lately. And so my topic has just been, and to just go back real quick, it's been like the lights in the sky. So I just went to the most basic thing, and I started from the stars. Simple. But I was like, okay, let's track back into the way that we can kind of track back the universe to the furthest point of creation, right? And so I just did a little Big Bang crash course, right? And I think it's pretty interesting. And what I did as a little, how do you say, as a little icebreaker? Icebreaker.
Helado.
Breako. Yeah, and so what I did is I went through all of the major religions, and I just looked at their take on what the beginning of the universe is.
That's so sick.
And
that's so cool. Yeah, no, frick yeah. That
and
rules.
so I'm gonna start from one, right?
Number one,
Christianity, most well known. In the beginning, God created heavens and the earth, right? And the earth.
Bingo.
Judaism shares the same thing.
Yeah.
Right. Islam, they say he is the originator of the heavens and the earth.
Referring to Allah.
Y'all kind of stole there, but
yeah,
it's fine. I'm not gonna. Hinduism, there's many creation stories within Hinduism, but it's the Rig Veda. One of their hymns says, "Then even nothingness was not nor existence." Don't know what that means at all.
What do you mean?
Then even nothingness was not nor existence. I mean, I get it. I get the plane of there not being anything. I get it. But that one right there, I did some research. It questions whether even gods know how creation began in Hinduism, which is
nobody. It's just
nobody.
a complete mystery.
Complete mystery.
That's fun.
Right.
I
And
kind of like that.
but here's another one, because you remember how I said there's multiple within Hinduism. Another story involves the god Brahma.
Is that the elephant?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so.
Look at me, dude. I'm swag.
Yeah, I know. Shout out to this guy. That's good. Emerging from a cosmic golden egg and then creating the world.
You know, that makes more sense than the other three explanations so far.
I thought that was so interesting.
I mean, not that we're making fun of any other religions.
We're not. No disrespect, but
that's insane.
that's funny.
That's literally insane.
It is. Next one is Buddhism, which doesn't focus on an event. You know how Buddhism is.
Yeah, it's more about the internal character.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're not even worried about that stuff. Taoism. I didn't know what Taoism was.
I'm thinking of Confucianism. But Taoism, is that still East Asian?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
I knew what it was without knowing the title.
God, dude, community college is doing me right.
I know this. Why are you giving so much credit to community colleges?
Because I want my boys and gals out there who are maybe insecure about going to community college.
But none of this has been attributed to community college for you. This has just been you.
What are you talking about, dude? I took an economics course once. Am I correct?
Economics, Taoism. They believe that the Tao is the ultimate principle behind all things. It's not God, but it's a mysterious force, and that's when you get yin and yang, like those. Kung
Fu Panda.
Yeah. And then here's where we get a little bit interesting too. I think is Native American traditions.
Yeah.
They believe it varies among tribe.
Obviously,
but, just two of the ones that came up was the Iroquois.
That sounds about right.
It says
I have no.
That's how you sound like a scholar. That's how you do it.
That sounds about right. According to my research.
And it's the earth began with a sky woman and fell from the heavens and then landed on a turtle's back.
Yes, I've heard that one.
Yeah,
I have heard that one.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what they portray and vaguely in Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Really?
Remember the large turtle that emerges out of the sea whenever Aang, what's his name?
Aang. You know, come on, don't act like you.
It's been like 4 years.
Lovely show, by the way.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah, remember it like alludes to that the turtle was a part of the creation.
Yeah. I don't remember that specifically, but that was stapled in your mind somehow.
We'll pull it up after.
Don't worry about it. We should. And there's only 3 more. Bear with me here.
But no, take your time. This is fascinating. Okay, I'm learning so much.
Cool. African cosmologies. They believe that it's one of those things that are diverse among cultures. The Yoruba in Nigeria, the supreme god Oludumare sends his deity Obatala to create the land of the water. So that's just their names for that. The Egyptians, I know this is one that like deserves its own episode because there's so many things that I've heard about. I know when you showed me that Wes Huff, I went in and I listened to some of Billy Carson's stuff. I saw the Billy Carson. I don't know if you ever looked at that.
Yeah.
But Wes Huff kind of put him in his place there. But he goes off so many rabbit holes to where
he talks about the ancient Sumerians.
He does
mostly, right?
He does. I think
on Egypt, like he's kind of an Egyptologist.
Yeah.
But if his main focus is predominantly ancient Sumeria, right?
Because you talk about Billy Carson.
Yeah,
I think so.
Because he claims that that's like the original. We always think the Egyptians were the cool. Anyways, yeah.
Maybe that's the case.
The Egyptians believe.
They believe that it began in Nun, the chaotic watery abyss. It emerged from a mound, and then the sun god Ra rose to create the gods in the cosmos. That's their main thing. And then this one also was a little bit interesting too, which is the last one, Norse mythology. Which they believe that the world began as a void called, I gotta watch my pronunciation here, Ginnungagap. And from its emptiness, fire and ice melted, and the first being, Ymir, the frost giant, was born. And then the gods later used his body to create the world.
But how are the gods formed?
Ymir?
Ymir was just like, yo, dude, I'm like boy the heck right now.
Hey,
dude.
If there's anybody named Ymir watching this, you are
shout out Ymir,
Frost Giant, my
Ymir,
boy.
Jose M, Ross, TJ Maxx, Home Goods, and
all of y'all.
Who else did I shout out?
You got Marshalls. You got
no. But I said I was gonna sue somebody else.
Oh. Rotten Tomatoes.
Rotten Tomatoes. Shout out to Ymir, Rotten Tomato, and all those guys.
Shout out to all y'all. But yeah, no, I thought it was interesting to kind of go down the line there. And
it's funny too because like, I mean, obviously they're all gonna be different. Mm-hmm. Obviously, I mean, they're all from different regions, but like you can almost see a pattern. That there was nothing.
Right.
Then, seemingly, instantaneously. Life springs forth, or a creator springs out of the void.
Right. And it's kind of interesting to see because some of them don't go as far as to explain what happened. Mm-hmm. Like Christianity, in the beginning, God created heaven and the earth, and then it goes through the story
of the creation of earth. Heaven.
Yes, and that's big difference.
Yeah,
So some of these, they go kind of a step further and they go into the specifics of everything from the point of creation, which is a little interesting that they go into that. But that's the way I started off. And now I'm kind of in the mind space of like, okay, now that we've observed what, the major religions have found, let's see what us as a human race have found, dated back into science. And so it's not going to be super long, but I think it's going to be interesting. So...
Stephen Hawking's theory of everything.
No, I'm not even bringing up any theories. That was going to be a snooze fest if that's the case. But so at the very beginning, the furthest thing I researched as much as I could, and it all talked about hot, dense soup. Mm-hmm. That's the plasma particles. That's where it all begins because they can't date anything past that. And if they try, I don't know how successful they'd be because that's where everything was compressed. It was the whole universe was compressed into something that was smaller than an atom.
Yeah.
And from some point, that thing, the Big Bang, it wasn't an explosion, but it was just an expansion of space.
I've heard that.
Yeah. And I think that's kind of interesting to think about. But it's carrying matter and energy, and it's still expanding today. And one thing that fascinates me, and this is where the whole like star thing came into mind, because the light from the Big Bang is still present today.
Really?
Yeah. And I'll go into that further a little bit later about how fascinating light really is. Mm-hmm. And so, but anyways, real quick. So from that point, it expanded and it cooled. Particles emerged. Quarks, the word quarks came up quite a bit, combined into protons and neutrons. So, and eventually atoms formed. So quarks are...
Spell that?
Quark.
Okay, so not quirks.
No,
it's quarks.
Quarks.
Okay.
Never heard of these before.
Yeah, no, we're learning.
Yeah.
We're learning together.
Yeah, we're learning. So they're inside protons and neutrons, right? And protons and neutrons make up atoms. So atoms, as we know, is the smallest thing.
Jimmy,
help us out here.
Jimmy Neutron.
I'm summoning Jimmy.
Adam Scott.
Who? Is that who voices him?
Are you dumb? Adam Scott's the lead character in Severance. You just went through 9.
Is that his?
That's his real government?
It's real government name.
Yeah.
I really like it.
Okay, so cool. So they.
So anyways, yeah. So you have the atom. Atoms made up of protons and neutrons.
Yeah.
I said that right. Neutrons. Mm-hmm. And then the protons and neutrons are made of quarks. Quarks.
That's what it makes. Okay.
Yeah. Yes. All right. And
when did they find that? I mean, I'm sure we don't know.
Yeah. And
I thought we didn't know what made up protons and neutrons.
Right. Is
this theoretical?
No. This is Here's the interesting part. And here, I'll do a little bit extra research here.
Dude, this is why we have this now.
Yeah, absolutely.
If we had when we grow, we're gonna have a producer to pull this.
I know, right? So, are quarks scientifically, that's spelled bad, proven?
Yeah, yes. Gemini, baby.
Well established.
Go ahead.
Part of the standard
Gemini's
model.
pulling this from a Wikipedia page.
You better believe it. Nope, that's
part of the standard model of particle physics, supported by extensive experimental evidence. The quark model proposed independently by Murray and George in 1964. Okay.
Yeah, so real things right here.
Dude, I can read that. That's insane. Dude, my eyesight's great. It's all them carrots I've been eating.
Do your thing, brother. Do your thing. So anyways, these quarks, and here's I'm going to go further into these quarks. Let me go back up to my notes here. So they are the fundamental particles that are like the building blocks of the protons and neutrons. And there's 6 flavors that they're called: up, down, strange, charm, top, and bottom. I know you know a lot about that one. So
out of all of them, left, charm, top. That's all you need to know.
Regardless.
If I was a proton, left charm top, baby.
And so here's the thing, and we're gonna get into that.
We're not getting into that.
So here's the strangest part about quarks, though, and this is one of the coolest things I've ever learned, and it kind of ties into your last week's
Okay. Yeah.
not presentation. I'm sorry.
Presence over.
Yes, presence. You ready? Big thing on presence. They don't have fixed identities or locations until we observe them or interact with them.
Oh, dude, that's so cool, dude.
And so
that's so sick.
And there's all this quantum realm stuff, but they essentially just exist as possibilities until we observe them. It's just potential.
Dude, that's such a mind boggle.
And so the reason I say it ties in, it's because it's like reality waits for us to notice it. It's at the core of our like existence.
Yeah.
The smallest particle that we've been able to find so far waits for us to observe it, to notice. How crazy is
that?
It's
like that old saying of like, if a tree falls in the wood and no one's around to hear it, did the tree fall at all?
Yeah, right.
Right. It's like that. I think that I've heard something similar to that when people try to argue the simulation theory, in the sense of like, if each independent individual is living their own simulation theory, then whatever's existing outside of their immediate reality is not real at all. Because like you said, it's until it's observed, right? It is not real.
Yeah.
So like any place in the world that I have not been to or even learned about or seen photographic evidence does not exist.
To you.
At all.
It
just does not exist. Which is such a crazy concept.
Yeah. Yeah, and the fact that that's like, the breakdown of like the science of our atoms is just insane to me.
Give me some. This topic rips.
Oh, thanks, bro. Thanks.
Let's talk about this the whole time.
No. And so, until you measure it, it can exist in a range of possible states. So you know how I said it was like up, down, strange, charm, right? All of those are like its states, top, bottom. Can't forget those. It whenever it's observed, it chooses like the state. So whenever you go to observe it, it'll either be a up quark, a down quark, and for example, I think I put in here that. Yeah, so like a proton is made up of 2 up quarks, 1 down quark, just for, an example there. But those up quark, down quarks, like when we observe it, it exists as that. Yeah. But then whenever you're not observing it, it exists as just potential. So it's technically like all the quarks. It's lots of quark work here.
And obviously we're the most intelligent people to be discussing and interpreting.
I know, that's the weird part, bro. I don't know what I'm talking about exactly.
No, but that's dude, like, how interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's the whole point. Is like, dude,
right.
I ain't got a clue in the world.
Right, and it's a sick concept. And so I heard it said like this, and I don't know if you ever watched one of those. It's like they do animated things about science and really vague thing. If I showed you their animation style, no, not exactly. If I showed you their animation style, you might know. But they said it like this, and it's, what if we are the universe's way of experiencing itself?
Dude, I've heard that before.
What the heck, bro? That's just mind-boggling.
Yes.
And as I go into this, because I'm going to go into kind of like what we can observe about how much we know, it's all kind of crazy. And
it's almost a commentary on consciousness itself.
Yeah.
That is so fascinating.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
It's really interesting. And so I'm going to start. Let's just put it in a timeline here. We're now after the Big Bang. Right. And it's called the cosmic microwave background, which is the afterglow of the Big Bang. And it's essentially, from what I've seen, it's called like the fossil of the early universe, which gives us a picture of what the cosmos looked like 380,000 years after the Big Bang. And the reason it's 380,000 years is because there was no light able to travel until that 380,000 year mark. And so basically, it gives us the early stages of the universe's evolution, and then it's also the formation of galaxies and the distribution of matter. And I'm going to get to that. This is kind of just filler information. But observing the cosmos is like a journey through time. And what I mean by that is when I looked further into the way that light travels, you've heard the term light years.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
It's interesting. And you might have heard this before. But when we're looking up at the sky, we're not seeing the stars as they're at now. We're seeing them as the way they were when the light left them, which is insane because it's literally time travel.
No, have you heard the thing where it's like if you were to be in a spaceship, I forget where the distance is, but if you were to travel at the speed of light, by the time you went to a certain distance and back, the Earth would have aged like a million years, and you would have only aged like 3.
Man. No, I haven't heard of that. I don't know what the distance it's talking about, but still, regardless, that's insane.
Yeah, it's like you said, it's literally time travel.
Yeah.
If you want to figure out time travel, all you have to do is move the speed of light.
Yeah, and it's saying that so light travels at about 186,000 miles per second. But even with that, it still takes a while. Like with what you said, at least in our time. So when we see a star and they say that it's 1,000 light years away, that means that light left that star 1,000 years ago. So crazy. All the stars in the sky, that's the light that we are seeing because light's traveled from 1,000 years.
That's why I think when we look in the sky, we see those bright spots. It's actually a supernova of a star that may have died thousands of years ago. Thousands of years ago.
I'm not even gonna get into that yet because I have that coming.
Oh, do you?
So cool, supernovas. But we're gonna get into that word later. So it literally means the universe is a time machine. That's the way that I have it worded. So even the sun, it takes 8 minutes for the sun's light to reach us. 8 minutes. So when we see the sun, it's how it was 8 minutes ago. Mm-hmm. And then on a bigger scale, Sirius. I'm sorry, it's a bigger star that we can observe here. It's 8.5 years ago.
That's the closest star to us, correct? Besides the sun.
Yes, I believe it's the next sun up. I think I'm not great at this, but anyways,
we're not astronomers,
right? And then we have have you heard of the Andromeda galaxy?
Of course, the closest galaxy to us.
So cool. 2.5 million years ago. I want to just show, I don't know if I haven't seen this yet in person. And it's really not all that to see, but it's just the fact that you know what you're saying. Hold on.
It's just a picture of you shirtless.
Shut up, bro. This is just my intro picture. So this is what it looks like. And I'll put it up here. From Earth. And you can see kind of like
a
little bit of the ring,
typical
galaxy kind of look, right?
And not Samsung Galaxy S4, the one that would blow up in commercial airlines.
The one that gave you the Fortnite skin.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh my gosh,
This is a real
galaxy.
A real galaxy Fortnite.
And the light that we're seeing there is lights that has traveled for 2.5 million years to get to us. 2.5 million years.
That's so insane. Sickening. That's sickening. Yeah. It makes you sick to think about that.
Right. And here's the cool part, and I don't know if you know this about the Andromeda Galaxy. You might, but it's traveling towards us.
Yeah.
At 68 miles a second.
They're going to collide.
Yes, correct? Exactly. And when galaxies collide, I've heard that term used before, and it sounds like it's gonna shatter everything.
Yeah, it's this incoming, impending doom.
Right.
In 45 jillion years.
Right, but based on what based on research of what happened to other galaxies, they worded it so beautifully here. It's like they don't shatter, they dance. And they turn into something new, into one joint galaxy. I just put it here.
Man, that's so fascinating because it's not every galaxy. It's the Milky Way.
This is the Andromeda.
That's the Andromeda? That looks just like the Milky Way. It's identical.
Yeah, I think the Milky Way has more ridges.
Yeah, it has that more like...
Yeah, I'll put them side by side
because it's every galaxy has a black hole in the center of it.
Whoa.
I may be lying, fibbing out of my bum.
Still, okay.
What I'm saying is like that makes sense why they would rotate or revolve around one another because if they have two gravitational pulls that are sucking that. Just look at that picture. Go ahead and pull that picture up.
Yeah.
Every single one of those dots is a galaxy. How sickening is that?
Yeah. And
it makes you want to throw up. It literally makes you want to throw up.
A little bit. And this is kind of like, sorry, it's not zoomed in, but you can see, I'll put that one up too, of just what it looks like if two galaxies were colliding. And
dude, that's so crazy.
It really
looks
is.
like two honey buns, like when you drop them on a 7-Eleven floor.
That's insane. All the red marks and dust that gets on them.
It's equally as beautiful.
Oh my gosh,
as
man.
two honey buns on a 7-Eleven floor.
And speaking of dust, that leads me into my next one here. And
Space
because, yeah, I mean...
Miami cocaine, space dust.
Miami cocaine, sure. So that still, as cool as that is, it still kind of leaves, how did planets come into play? How did like these things kind of form? I understand the light part.
Foreplay.
The light part, I get. And so, yeah, I did some research kind of just for the sake of some closure.
Dude, you are going to blow my topic out of the daggone. This is phenomenal.
No, I appreciate it.
This is gorgeous.
It's just something fun. It was really fun. And so the birth of rocky planets. When the universe reached the point where heavy elements that were heavier than hydrogen and helium were abundant. These elements, they began to clump up, and then and by clump up it means, I don't know, I tried to do research into this. Like there's random like gravity pockets, I guess. I mean, that's why we have gravity on Earth, right? It's like its own separate gravitational force, and I don't know where those come from. That is just like some weird designer kind of stuff, it feels like. But anyways, the formation of our own solar system 4.5 billion years ago, which I guess, so I think the universe has been 13.9 billion years, and our own solar system came way after that. It's only 4.5 billion years old.
That's still an exorbitant amount of time.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. And so the way that our solar system came into play was the nebula of gas and dust collapsed under gravity to form the sun first, and then the leftover material clumped together to form planets kind of around it, right? The way they worded it was let me see if I can find the word, the interstellar medium, which sounds really fancy.
Jay's like, Matthew McConaughey.
Dude, I love Interstellar. That is a 11 out of 10 film.
4.
But interstellar medium is just a really complicated way of saying all the space in between stars. So everything that makes up literally space, it's like there's dust and stuff floating there. And really, I guess I should have added this planet part after I talked about the supernova, because the supernova is sick, and that kind of explains.
Teach me, learn me.
Yeah, so during a star's life, it fuses hydrogen atoms to keep it alive, just a regular star. And as the star goes, it starts fusing helium and heavier elements like carbon, oxygen, and neon. And for very massive stars, it keeps going, like for the really big stars, and then it gets heavier elements like silicon, sulfur, and iron. And then the limit there, when I said iron, that's like the limit of elements, and it starts to become like too heavy in a sense when it starts creating iron. And so the fusion of iron doesn't release energy, it consumes energy, which is why the star cannot continue fusing iron, and that's why its core collapses under its own gravity. And so basically when the star reaches the point of producing iron, it collapses on itself
because of the mass.
Because of the mass of the iron, and it's consuming energy. And that's how you get the really cool word. You want to say it?
Supernova.
Supernova.
Head in the supernova.
No.
Ansel Elgort.
I know. I've heard of that one before. It's so annoying. And so, yes, the collapse, it implodes, and it creates this massive explosion. And that's in that process of the explosion is when you get the heaviest elements. So past iron and all of that, like you get like all these particles of heavier elements like gold, platinum, uranium. I had no clue that this is where it came from, the big supernova star collapses. And from there, it goes through the interstellar medium, which is just the space in between.
Little clumps form.
Right,
planets.
And stellar winds, because at first I read that was like stellar winds. There's no wind in space, but it's simply just talking about charged particles that literally push the gold, uranium, and all of that. It pushes them through simply in its energy alone. And so
I think that's why like certain people believe that like gold is not like a natural resource. Is that it's actually like divinely given from the universe. Have you heard that? Where they think that it's like an interstellar, yes. And so that's why like there's only a limited like Earth does not make gold.
Yeah.
Like not just not a natural resource. Right. It's not like something else that you can just have and it'll constantly be replenishing. It's not a renewable resource.
Right.
It's like people believe that. That's why they say like in like biblical times, like that's why it was so important that like everything be gilded.
Yeah.
Let's reference that word gilded in the terms of, but not a thin sheet. Like if we talk about the tabernacle, that like the sheets, like all the things would have to be lined with gold. The Ark of the Covenant had to be lined with gold. Also like why Africa, like why they value gold, not just as the commodity, but like as like that gives it so much more validity.
Yeah. Right.
That if it's this interstellar, like this,
quite literally.
That's so
quite literally
cool.
And I just didn't even know that that's where gold literally comes from. It's just so crazy to think about. It's space. It's space metal.
Yeah, and you're like, oh, look at this chain. Look at the chain.
Yeah, I know, right?
Look at it. Look at the chain.
And honestly, it's pretty freaking cool.
You're wearing a spaceship on your neck, dude.
It's insane.
That's so wild.
Yeah. Yeah, and so it's said like this. It said, stars don't just shine. They are the cosmic factories of elements. And so like next time you look up at the sky, like it's not like just a star. And it's not just gas. And some of them are.
Yeah.
But we are literally we are stardust. We are born from like the death of stars.
Don't make me think about this all night, dude.
Yeah, man.
Don't make me have an existential crisis.
It's one of those things, and it's just like it's what we can observe. And it's just so crazy that we've got to a point as like a human race to be able to understand those kinds of things.
Yeah.
And to kind of trace back, and it's all traced back through light. That's kind of my circle back around. Like let there be light. Like there's so much to that it's like it literally birthed the universe. And it's I don't know. I feel like it gets breezed over. And so, yeah, I kind of went into a little bit about the Earth's formation, which is just similar to the things I've been talking about already. Just random gravity pockets. It pulls in those things from after the stars implode, and it kind of starts compounding those elements together, which is just like imagine the Earth at its start. Imagine the first particle.
Have you heard the theory? So obviously you know, doing this research, you've learned about probably the Goldilocks zones.
No, there's no.
Okay, so the Goldilocks zone is a phenomenon that happens in the universe where a planet is able to accumulate the most ideal situations to promote life. Right, so they call it the Goldilocks zones. For instance, we are in the Goldilocks zone because we're just far enough from the sun.
Yeah.
Right, and with no additional, like our relatively speaking, our solar system is fairly clean. There's not a ton of space debris. I mean, there is obviously meteors, and there's the pocket of meteors, I think, by Saturn. But for the most part, like Earth's trajectory is pretty clean comparatively to all the other planets in every galaxy ever. So we exist in what they presume, and they've theorized and they've come up with this ideology of the Goldilocks zone, right?
Yeah.
In the sense that we're just far enough from the sun, everything's just right. You know, it's the same from the Goldilocks story.
Yeah,
it's just right. The porridge is just right to support life. So the theory is that like in all of that's where like you make the argument for like extraterrestrial life, right? And so this is a two-parter here. So obviously the arguments for other extraterrestrial life, they would also have to exist theoretically speaking in another Goldilocks zone,
right? Where life could have supported. So
we, based off of our knowledge of the universe, just factually speaking, as of human beings, the way we are right now, for the most part, we are the only known intelligent life form in our solar system,
right? And
in our galaxy,
right?
And as far as we know, in the universe, because again, it's like going back to what you said, because we cannot observe it, it doesn't exist, right? So we are the only intelligent creatures in all the universe, which is terrifying, right? But then if they were to exist, they'd have to exist in the Goldilocks zone. Well, then there's this theory, because you've heard it always, right, about Mars, right?
Yep.
That Mars is like what used to potentially host, another civilization, and then like the ancient Sumerians had like the thought processes of this people were Mars was in the Goldilocks zone at one point, and because as you know, the planets are constantly shifting away from the sun. So the theory is that Mars at one point was in a similar position over the course of the last 4 point however many billion years of the Milky Way existing, that at one point in existence, Mars existed in the Goldilocks zone, and through time then shifted outside of the Goldilocks zone. That's why it's too cold and desolate to live now, right? But that's why we believe that there's frozen water, which they've now found frozen water on the planet. And they, some people will get freaky, oh, there's structures and all this. But the Sumerians believe that some people, whenever Mars was escaping the Goldilocks zone, came to Earth, and Earth was emerging into the Goldilocks zone, and then they found the Neanderthal. At this point, it had been a couple million years, the Neanderthal, and then genetically modified them and created human beings. And then they bestowed on us the blessings of the ancient Sumerian gods.
And here's the thing, that's actually very interesting. Not really as much the
that has no validity.
No validity, but the planet part, the fact that like Mars pushing outwards and the Earth moving into the zone is kind of interesting. The fact that there was water found on Mars.
And so the theory is that then in however many millions or billions of years, Venus will then eventually transition into a Goldilocks zone as well. and that one of the other planets will escape the orbit, will reach a certain point where the gravity is no longer the pull because they're shifting, and it'll just fling off. Like if you were swinging a ball around on a fraying string, and then eventually the string breaks and it just goes.
You think?
Whatever. So then Venus transitions into the Goldilocks zone, and the theory is that it just continues until the end.
Yeah, that's interesting. It really is. Now, tying that into kind of like there's still some crazy things that have to go down. Even with, the molecules building up and all of that. I don't know. There's so much that has to go right for the Goldilocks zone. Yeah. There's so much that has to go right. Everything from the axis.
We might just be the only ones.
Yeah.
But in an infinite galaxy, that is, I mean, look at that, the other picture, the one above this one.
Above this one, yeah. Sorry,
where it's just all the stars and just, oh my God. You're telling me, we'll go ahead and pull the picture up again.
Yeah.
This is the Andromeda, correct?
Andromeda.
Andromeda. Mm-hmm. Right, the picture. You're telling me that in all of that, every single one of those little blips and bleeps, that there's not one other Goldilocks? Because all of those are galaxies, and all the galaxies hold millions probably of solar systems that have the potential.
Yeah.
That's so fascinating.
Insane.
It really is mind-boggling, and then we're just like, oh, my candidate didn't get elected.
I know. Yeah.
Dude, look at this.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Right. It's one of those existential crisis things.
It really is. It is.
But but it's so beautiful too. And that doesn't even the beautiful part of all of this is that, like, I'm just going to go into it for a minute, is like when it comes to where you stand religiously, it's like, because those religious texts don't make scientific claims, you can't disprove it with science either. And so it all like ties in, because you have to circle back to the original point of like, okay, but who banged the Big Bang?
Is that your closing remarks?
Who
done banged the Big Bang?
It's
Sheldon.
It's insane. It is Sheldon.
Young Sheldon banged the big. Young Sheldon banged the big and made the Big Bang.
Oh my gosh, no, Sheldon, no. I think it's interesting. Who banged the Big Bang?
What a remarkable closing statement. Question.
Yeah.
For you at home, you folks at home who have listened and your fancy has now been tickled. Who banged the Big Bang?
Who did it? Drop in the comments who you think.
Daddy. Because all the comments are going to say Daddy from earlier.
Daddy double. Please put a timestamp or something there.
Yeah, double timestamp, dude. Do whatever.
Yeah, but
that's
bonkers. Yeah, pretty cool, I think.
Dude,
I don't know.
You smoked it. That is so unbelievably fascinating.
I think it was good.
I think it was. It is.
Appreciate it.
I'm seeing you like the molecules and the particles, the left up top charming.
It's the only thing you took out of that was that.
all day. Let me push my seat off the wall. I hear it clicking.
Oh, hey, you're good.
The only thing I got out of that was I am left charming top.
That's a pretty good takeaway, to be honest.
I banged a Big Bang. Who banged it? It wasn't me. I did it.
I promise it wasn't me.
Dude, that's so cool.
Yeah.
I'm going to be sick all night. I'm going to be laying in my bed tonight because I drank coffee past 12 p.m.
You're going to be geeked off the Yipper, brother.
Ooh, bang.
Man, do you want to, not to break the flow here, do you want to do a quick little halftime?
We'll do a halftime. I bet we're like an hour and a half in right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, do halftime, pee break, and
let's get to the end of yours, bro.
Get a word from our sponsor. What's good, gang? It's your boy, left charming top, and we're back.
We are back.
We're back, baby.
So back.
A little bit of grub.
Yeah, we did.
It was getting musty in this room. We had to get a little bit of a break in. I was sweating. I had a bead of sweat run down my crack
that was pretty
45 minutes into that.
But we got some salmon.
Ooh.
And some cucumber.
So, superfoods. The brain foods.
The brain needs
little round of applause for Jay for his topic this week. Everyone, for the fourth time, type in the comments, go Jay. Make sure you timestamp it so that way it's not daddy or you get it anyways.
Yeah, please.
Jay cranked that soja boy on the podcast today.
No. I'm okay. I can't wait for yours, bro. What we cooking up? What were you up to this week, researching wise?
Well, it's taken me 2 weeks.
Oh yeah,
it's been 2 weeks. So I was like, because like obviously last week was a concept And I talked a lot. I got a little bit of redundant. You got a little redundant. I know you say it was fine, but I don't want to talk the whole time. This is our podcast. Both of our names on this thing. Not just me. So I just came up with something simple, something stupid. So I'm going to talk about the socio-political climate in modern-day Pakistan and how it relates to the Kashmiri region in northern India.
Okay, let's dive in. Just joshing.
I'm just joshing your willy.
Thank you.
So my topic this week, one word and one word alone, and I'm gonna not be too like teachy. There's nothing really to learn. Mm-hmm. It's dreams.
Oh,
I put an exclamation mark at the dreams.
Dreams.
Sorry to the listeners who were driving their car and just crashed in the back of a minivan filled with migrant workers.
Oh,
dreams. All right.
So
the reason why I did dreams, right, is that my father and I have a tendency to dream a lot and remember them. And growing up, I just thought that everybody dreamt, and just remembered them, and we just had vivid dreams all the time, that they were like lucid dreaming, that you could just like control and be like fully like in these very immersive worlds and universes, right? So my whole life I thought that everybody dreamt, and in the way that I dreamt, and the way that my dad always described his dreams, right? I thought everybody did, right? And as I grew older, I realized, after communicating and telling people about my dreams and funny stuff, whatever that went on, that a lot of people like just don't dream. Like they just like they of course everybody dreams, but like they didn't remember them. Like I remember them in the mornings, or I'll remember them a week later, or months later. I'll remember a crazy dream that I had. So I was like, what if, crazy idea here. Again, this is going to be quick. Nothing crazy.
It's okay.
What if for the next 2 weeks, every time I had a vivid dream, I logged it. So I kept a dream journal, baby.
Okay.
A daggone dream journal for 2 weeks.
That's sick. Okay, yeah.
Because as many of you guys know, I am paranoid schizophrenic, bipolar disorder, and I...
Oh my God, they prescribed you 2 doses of Pepto.
Yeah, as previously stated, I have a 1997 Corolla burning next to the Eiffel Tower in my brain all the time.
It just happens.
So Jay, I ask you, do you dream?
I dream. I would say
Are you a vivid dreamer?
I would say I'm a vivid dreamer.
Give me some.
Yeah.
Bang.
Boom.
Bang.
Yeah.
So the National Library of Medicine.
Yeah.
This is their definition of dreams. Because also I realize that we don't even know what our dreams are, per se, because it's a form of consciousness, and if we don't know what consciousness is, we already don't know what that is.
Right.
I mean, being asleep, consciousness is like a whole nother bag of potato chips, dude. Yeah. So it's crazy. So this is what the National Library of Medicine has to, what they claim dreaming is. So it says that dreams are mental experiences including perceptions, thoughts, and emotions that occur during sleep. No duh. Yeah. In dreams, hallucinatory perceptions, particularly visual and motoric, are often accompanied by negative emotions, which I thought was interesting. Negative, like almost all of them are negative. When people dream, they perceive them as real, even though they are bizarre and distorted in time and space. People often cannot recall their dreams, even though people dream every single night. Dreaming is a strange psychological phenomenon.
Yeah, I'd agree.
So pretty much they're like, they just summarize dreams, but they didn't even define it, right? So I was like, that's freaking interesting.
That really is.
So dreams only realistically occur during the REM sleep cycle, right? And REM, that's like the deep sleep. That's when your brain is active. So if you track your sleep, you'll see that like your heart rate and everything is usually higher during REM sleep. That's when all those dreams are happening. And the dreams that tend to happen during REM sleep, they tend to be more vivid, more like story-driven, and tend to be more bizarre. Those are where you have the weird, like the chicken with no legs and a dolphin tail, and like they're comparatively to non-REM.
And this was, I'm sorry, you remember AP Psych when your eyes are moving everywhere? Yeah, while you're dreaming.
Yes.
I wonder if that contributes to it. Yeah.
Yeah. So then, comparatively to non-REM, which you can still dream in non-REM, but usually you don't really remember those because they're not as interesting or fascinating, right?
Right.
And obviously, Jay and I, growing up, kind of have some familiarity with Christianity. Dreams are talked about quite a bit. Joshua, excuse me. Yeah, it was Jacob, right? Thrown in the lion's den? Jacob. It was Joshua's son.
Joshua. Yeah, okay, Jacob.
Anyways, Jacob. Yeah, he was a dreamer. He could decipher dreams. He could dream. And it talks about, young men will dream dreams and all this stuff like that in Revelation and whatnot. So dreams are like have been a long-standing tradition. People have been dreaming for thousands of years. I mean, if it's mentioned in the Bible, written 2,000 plus years ago, then obviously people have been dreaming for a long time. So like I said, I talked to a lot of people like Hannah, my girlfriend. Go pull a picture up. Hannah talks all the time, but she doesn't remember any of her dreams. My buddy Anthony I talked to, he's like, I never dream. I haven't dreamed probably since I was like 9. Yeah. Right. My mom said that she used to dream a ton when she was like young, and then that it rotated, like it flipped, and now she never dreams. Right. Carson said he like never dreams, and when he does, it's like once in a blue moon. A lot of people that I talk to, like, and other people that I've talked to about it, they like, because I'll be like, hey, I had this crazy dream. And they're like, you get to, like, you remember your dreams? Like, I have a dream, and I remember it slightly, vaguely in the morning. Right. Jay, I have hallucinations. I have full-on trips, dude, while I'm sleeping. No shot. Of, I'm lucid dreaming almost every night. Wow. Every night, right? So there's 2 theories, because we don't know why we dream. There's 2 theories that I found super interesting as to why we dream. So the first one that I thought was really cool was threat simulation theory. So that's what the name sounds like. This theory proposes that dreaming is an evolved mechanism for simulating dangerous situations and practicing responses to threats, thereby improving an individual's ability to perceive and avoid real-life dangers. Wow. Right? So that ties back to what the National Library of Medicine, that most of the dreams are usually accompanied by negative emotions. Okay. So it's usually like very threatening. That's why like nightmares, things like that, those type of dreams, those style of dreams are very upsetting and anxiety riddled, and they make you nervous, and you wake up in a cold sweat. It's because according to this theory, it's an evolutionary trait where it's preparing you for situations that you may have experienced in the past and how to better handle them, or situations that may come in or may happen, and it's trying to prepare you mentally. So that way, when you get in that situation, you're like, I've been here before. Right. And then obviously you have Sigmund Freud. We remember him from AP Psych. Shout out Miss Tracy. Yes. Freudian psychoanalysis. If you remember, Sigmund Freud believed that just dreams represent unconscious desires, thoughts, and motivations. All right, often disguised in symbolic form. So I want you to keep 3 things in mind as I break down. We'll try to break down these dreams. I think it'd be fun. I tried not to interpret them because I wanted to bring it to you. I have 7 dreams. Some of them were more vivid than others. All of them were very vivid in the moment. A lot of these I wrote in the middle of the night, so the vernacular I use, I left it as is from my notes app, direct to Microsoft Word, just directly. So so some of them are just written very poorly. I'll try to fill in the dots that I remember. My earliest dream that I had was Wednesday, March 26th. So that was exactly 2 weeks ago. Yeah. So it's a little fuzzy, but I still remember it, which is crazy. But I still remember it. So I want you to keep in mind Freudian psychoanalysis. So what unconscious desires or motivations or thoughts are happening, right? Okay. Threat simulation theory, right? Is this am I simulating a danger that maybe I have experienced or may potentially experience? And then I also want you to think about the biblical perspective of prophecy and like having some kind of divine inspiration. Okay. So I want you to keep those 3 things in mind. So starting off, like I said, Wednesday, March 26th. Okay. So I'm just reading direct from note here. This is 3 a.m. Ruiz. Whenever I wrote this, this is that version of Ruiz. Okay. Yeah. So Wednesday, March 26th. I'm reading direct from paper. Hannah and I were swimming in the ocean, and suddenly we were attacked by a super big tiger shark. Right? Yeah. And I remember this in my brain. I got mangled, right? Oof. So I wrote, I got like super messed up, and the tiger shark ripped my legs up a ton. Because we were on some kind of charter boat, right? We were like out in the middle of the ocean on a charter. So the charter boat was nearby. Yeah. And Hannah helped me swim to the boat. All right. The boat, however, in attempting to take us to shore, could not find a proper place for us to dock. Right. It kept like pulling up. It was like almost on the side of a highway. Yeah. Like it was directly from Ocean Highway. And it just kept like bumping the front. No. Like it was like, and I was like, guys, we can't park here. It just kept like it kept like bunking the side, right? So tried to take us ashore, couldn't find a place to dock. Ended up pulling into like a trailer park. It was like, this is the only place. The captain was like, what? This is the only place that we can find a reasonable place to dock at. Okay. I'm like, what about where we took off? Anyways, so it's just a dream. It doesn't matter. So pulled up at the trailer park. All right. At this point, my legs were gone. Yeah. Trashed. Gosh. Like forever. Right. I'm
so sorry, by the way.
Thank you. But luckily, this is what I wrote. My legs were pretty messed up. And luckily, a local person, in parentheses, it was literally Bryce Harper. So if you don't know who Bryce Harper is, he'll pull a picture. It's the first baseman for the Philadelphia Phillies.
Wow.
Obviously, I was stoked about opening day. Bryce Harper, right, at the campground / trailer park, helped drive me, right? So I get into his truck, right? I get it. It's like an old beat up Ford. It's a red Ford. And I get in. He's like, don't worry, I'm going to take you to the hospital. All right. And all the South Philly guys, Yin's gone to the hospital now, right? Yeah. So, but then I get in the truck and he's driving me. And this is what I wrote. He drove like super erratically and was like purposely swerving into other lanes and like playing chicken with the other cars. And it was like, we were like in like the back country. I don't even know where we were, but it was like rolling hills and like huge trees. And he was just like going across the median and literally driving into oncoming traffic.
Bryce.
I'm like, Bryce, take me to the hospital. Like I'm literally, my legs are gone, dude. What are we doing? Right? So he's purposely playing with him. So then I told him, I was like, I told him, I was like, what you're doing is really bad and scary. That's what I wrote in my notes. What you're doing is really bad and scary. Oh, but then he just got mad at me and didn't talk to me for the rest of the time. He just shut up, right? Oh. And he just kept driving. But instead of taking me to a hospital, he just took me home, like to my actual, like where I live now, right?
Oh my goodness.
So, but for whatever reason, by the time I get home, I was pretty okay. That's what I wrote. Okay. In caps, by the way. O, like capital O, capital K.
Okay.
I'm okay. And healed up for some reason. That's what I wrote. But for sure, my right ankle and leg were broken. So like they were better, like they weren't as mangled, but my right leg was definitely broken. I was like hobbling, right? So when I got home, I walk in, my parents, Carson, everyone's there. And they didn't want to take me to the hospital. Nobody wants to take me to the hospital for whatever reason.
Walk it off.
And they told me that they wouldn't take me until 6:30. They were like, Ruiz, I remember walking in my house, and you know where our dining table is at. They were like at the dining table, they're like, yeah, dude, we see that, but like, you're gonna have to wait till 6:30, right? Yeah. And so we eat dinner, and then like we go and sit in my living room. You know how my living room's set up, and we're sitting and we're just watching TV. So I said we all sat in the living room to watch some TV, and even when the clock hit 6:30, they still didn't take me to the hospital. So I got like super angry and decided to take myself. I said that I'm taking the initiative, right?
Yeah.
I don't remember how I took the initiative, but I'm getting ready, right? And I'm getting ready, and I have like a cologne bottle, and I'm like, if I'm going to the hospital, I want to smell good. I guess in my brain, I was like, you gotta smell good. You can't just go in smelling like the ocean. You were just in the ocean however long ago with Bryce Harper, and everything like you've gone through this journey. So while I'm like getting ready, I have like this cologne bottle, and this is symbolic, and like the top breaks off, right? So I accidentally break it. And it just starts like spraying all over me. Like I'm getting doused. I wrote that it starts spraying profusely. And I ended up using the entire bottle of cologne.
Okay.
So I'm just doused. Just completely head to toe in cologne.
Axe body spray site.
Way more devastating than the leg being broken.
Oh.
I'm distraught. In my dream, I remember being like, bro, like I can't go to the hospital like this.
Oh my goodness.
So I like change, right? I just changed completely. And then this is kind of where it starts to get a little fuzzy. I remember it's still pretty good, but it gets a little like it starts getting weird because I'm probably about to wake up.
Okay.
So I'm on my way driving myself to the hospital. But while I'm there, I have to pee so bad. I have to just pee so bad, right?
Yeah.
So I just pull over and it's like an abandoned pizza shop. Oh, imagine a Chuck E. Cheese, right?
Yep.
But it's like flooded. The Chuck E. Cheese is flooded. It's like knee-high to waist-high water throughout the... So imagine a Chuck E. Cheese with the entire floor being covered in, let's call it 2 feet of water.
Yeah.
So it's just completely flooded. whatever reason, I'm like, this is the only acceptable place for me to take a leak.
I guess so, yeah.
So I'm like, just like trying to reach the back where the bathrooms are. And there's another stranger. I don't remember who this person is. Even still to this day, I've been trying to think, who was this individual? It was another man in my dream. And he tells me that he had also recently been attacked by a shark.
No.
And was needing to go to the hospital. So I have a friend, right?
Yeah.
But stranger told me that he knew a place where I could go and told me how to get to another campground. So he's like, don't worry. So we found a bathroom. We go pee. Again, flooded bathroom. So all the pee is just in the water. It doesn't matter. But he tells me, like, don't go to the hospital. I know another campground that you can go to. Right? So still in the hospital. Legs broken. Completely broken.
Yeah.
And I'm just no hospital. So I drive over to the hospital, but the hospital is like, it's like that. You didn't get to go, but when we went on that camping trip, it's this campground in Ocala, and it's like a big circle. It's just a big circle, and there's campsites on the left and the right hand side, going the whole duration of the circle,
right.
And then it's just a long road leading out. But instead of it being the long road leading out, it was this like seafood restaurant, like a small seafood restaurant. And then there was like a little like river running behind it. So there's a seafood restaurant, river, campground, big circular campground, right? And so it's that weird hybrid. And even though I was injured, right, I pull up and there's these two guys robbing the seafood restaurant, like right outside the campground. They're at gunpoint robbing. And I stop them. I like jump. I'm like, hey, stop robbing the seafood joint out in the middle of the woods.
What a guy.
So I'm like, oh, even though we had legs destroyed, demolished, right? Yeah. And I stop one of them. But then the problem is I tackle the guy with all the money in the bag, right, onto like the deck. And he has a gun and we're like tussling with the gun. And I shoot him in the head. So I accidentally killed the guy who had stolen the money. And then his partner then runs into the campground. But there's like a massive, for whatever reason, a mansion behind the campground. And he robs that one, flees the scene. Like then he runs all the way back. I didn't stop him. He ran all the way to the back. Yeah. Comes back with like the stereotypical bags of money.
Bags, yeah.
Jumps in his truck. And then the police show up. And then they just leave. And there's like in a crazy chaotic police chase. Wow. Woke up. That's where I woke up.
Wow. And I'm sorry, through this you just magically gained your legs back to tackle the dude?
No, I was still my right leg was still broken.
Right leg messed up.
But I'm not like bitten, if that makes sense. Like I'm not sliced. Like I'm not bleeding. Mm-hmm. It's just my right leg is very broken. Right. Big dog. So that was that was Wednesday.
That was Wednesday on its own.
Yeah. So
I've never heard of anybody go into that much detail about a dream.
I still remember the way everything looks. I wish I could put it on a projector and play it for you. I can still see everything. That's what I'm saying. I have like vivid dreams.
Now how do you here's what's so interesting about it. How do you want to go about it? Do you want to go through your 3 measures that you just used over that dream?
I think you find the one that most applies.
It's
obviously Freudian psychoanalysis. Obviously I'm desiring Bryce Harper.
What do you mean by that?
I want to get bitten by a shark. I want to go to Chuck E. Cheese. And it has to just be the dangerous.
The danger getting attacked by robbing.
Stopping robbers.
Stopping a robber.
Getting bit by a shark. Yeah. Dealing with difficult family situations.
Yeah, I know, right?
Dealing and then.
I think
and having to pee. Yeah. Threat management.
Right. Wow.
So I thought that was crazy. Right? The rest of them, that's my. Cool thing. Yeah. I wear a Garmin watch every night when I go to bed.
Right.
I kept my sleep stats to see if the amount of REM sleep that I had correlated to how vivid and long my details were. So total sleep was 7 hours 51 minutes. 1 hour and 8 minutes of deep sleep. Pretty good. Yeah. Deep sleep's good. That's not bad. But at 2 hours and 26 minutes of REM sleep.
2 hours
and 26 minutes.
Wow.
So a lot. Average is about 1.5 to 2 hours. Yeah. I looked it up. 1.5 to 2 hours is around the average.
Yeah.
So I got a little above average on the REM sleep. Deep REM sleep. My goodness. And again, you have to think out of 8 hours, almost a third of that was directly devoted to that one dream.
Right. And you have multiple dreams through the night.
Yeah.
But your body, your mind chose to remember that one.
Exactly.
Wow.
Crazy.
That's insane.
So then moving on to Thursday, the following night. Now, again, keep in mind, I don't dream every night. Right. I do dream, though, out of 7 days, probably about 5 days a week. Right. Some of these, I'm being honest, full transparency, I didn't log all of them because some of them were just like way too short. Like some of these are going to be like just running through it. Like the next like 3 of them are pretty short. Right.
Okay.
So moving into Thursday. Right. So again, I still remember all of it. I can still see them in my brain. When I think of these nights, I can see it. Right.
Yeah.
So this one was really simple. I was with this random stranger. I don't remember who they were. I was with I think it was a black man, tall black man. That's all I really remember. But I don't remember who they were. Obviously, it's probably somebody that I know or a celebrity. But we were like in like a Marriott. Like imagine a Marriott hotel. You know, like a hallway of a Marriott hotel. Uh-huh. So we were like, that's where it starts to dream, right? And for whatever reason, we're like trying to escape the federal government. Okay, we're trying to escape the government. And so we're like knocking on doors. We're like, please let us in, please let us in. Please let us inside that door, please. Like bang on the door. Okay. No one's letting us in, right? And we were just like running down this hallway. The federales are on our tail.
Yeah.
We make it, you know how a hallway is. We make it all the way down to the hallway, and there's usually on the right-hand side, there's the stairwell for like everything. So we go into the stairwell, right? And then there's just a bunch. There's like a whole platoon of like these federales coming up the stairs. And it's like this monster. It's not like a traditional like hotel stairwell. It's like a massive, like, you know, very large building. It's like huge. and they're all coming up. So we just like had to fight all of these federal agents, right? For like it was a long dream, and it was just me fighting and throwing guys off the stairwell like in those action movies. And they're like,
Yeah, right. Yeah, the Lego noise. Yeah.
down the thing. We're fighting for a long, long time. But then this is I guess a recurring theme. I accidentally killed one of like the head guy, like the top guy.
Ooh, okay.
I think it was a very similar killing to the night before.
Yeah.
Accidentally shot him in the head while fighting for a gun.
Yeah.
So then I was like, oh, what do I do? And I jumped out of the window, because you know how stairwells, they usually have at the very top floor, they have the window that's like if you're looking at a stairwell, you go out, you're going down the hallway, you take a right to where the stairwell's at.
Yep.
And then usually it's the stairs are going down on your right hand side, right?
Okay.
And then but if you're at the very top level, it's just a flat, like almost like a den.
Right.
And then on the left, there's usually just a random window that just shows you like, oh, you're at the top floor.
Got
it's
it.
outside. So it was like that. So I jump out the window, and as I jump out of the window, I turn into Falcon from the Marvel comics. I just turn, not black, white Falcon. Don't worry.
Yeah.
And then I like fly down and I grab a Russian guy, kill him, and then everyone just stops attacking us, and I wake up.
Man. So there's no shot that the federal people chasing you were ICE?
It might be that.
It could have been.
Might be worried about getting deported. So total sleep, 7 hours, 49 minutes. 1 hour and 42 minutes of deep sleep. A lot of deep sleep. But only an hour and 38 minutes of REM, which explains the shortness of the dream. And also it's not super vivid. I still remember very vividly, but not that vivid.
Wow.
So obviously that one's very simulating danger. Just another dream where I'm simulating danger. A lot of that, right? Moving on to Friday, I had 3 consecutive nights of very, very vivid dreams, right? Okay. But this one, again, is a very short one. I'm going to start kind of working my way through these pretty quick because I know I'm dragging it. Friday, March 28th, me and my buddy Andrew, you know Andrew?
Yep.
We go to like a Wild Wings-esque establishment. So just another traditional bar / wing joint, right? Which is funny because that night we had actually planned to go to Buffalo Wild Wings, but he had to cancel, right?
Okay, yeah.
So that's funny that I ended up having a dream about us still going. Obviously, that's the Freudian. I'm just gonna go. Obviously, I wanted to be with him at a Buffalo Wild Wings. And so we walk into this like Buffalo Wild Wings, right? Like we're just gonna use that. It's like a dusty old, Hooters, Buffalo Wild Wings, Wingstop, whatever, all of them. But we walk in and they're like, "Oh, you guys are here," and they instantly usher us to like this private room in the back outside of like where the normal eating area is at, and we go to the very back, and it's like a very small room, and it has like a handful of high top tables, just like handful with like 3 stools per, maybe 5 tables in this room, very dimly lit, with like pictures of like sports, like athletes and stuff, like every bar you've ever been to, like every like B-dubs you've ever been to,
right.
But it's just him and I in this private room in a wing place. That's romantic. Sexy. That's so hot. But then so finally a waitress walks in. It's got like those saloon style doors. She walks through the saloon style doors, and she told us, she comes in and she comes up to Andrew and I, and she goes, "You guys are not able to leave until you finish all of the items on the menu."
Oh.
She goes, "You guys cannot leave until you eat all the tater tots, sweet potato tater tots, all of them. It all has to be gone."
Man, that's a nice place to be locked in.
It's kind of rips, right?
Yeah.
So essentially, we're just trapped in this Buffalo Wild Wings, being only able to eat round after round after round of different types of wings and other greasy bar foods. And honestly, it was pretty stressful. That's what I wrote at whatever time I wrote this. I said, honestly, it was pretty stressful. I was really stressed. Dang. But at the same time, I was able to just house. I was just eating. I mean, you know how I eat. I just...
You a gobbler.
I'm a certified gobbler. And I ate so much that we were able to escape. Right? And then there was like just a lot of other like segmentary, like just like I would have to like get up and go to the bathroom and like just like small little segments, but it's kind of fuzzy. But I very vividly remember being in that private room housing wings. Wow. But yeah, so then I wrote, but for whatever reason, that overindulgence of the Buffalo Wild Wings while being trapped in there was very prevalent in my brain. That's what I wrote.
Yeah.
So total sleep, only 7 hours and 2 minutes, hour and 30 of deep sleep, and an hour and 33 of REM.
So it's gotten a little bit shorter.
It's got a little bit shorter.
Got it.
Right. All right. So here's a little bit to say. In my brain, if I could put it on a projector and make you see my entire dream, I couldn't even summarize it. It was... And you'll hear why when you hear the sleep stats. Okay. Tuesday, April 1st. So it's a couple days later. Yeah. And that's, you and I had hung out that weekend. I stayed up pretty late all weekend. I didn't sleep very well. So I wrote in parentheses that I wrote this at 3:00 in the morning. I wrote it to make sure I remembered exactly when I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning. I wrote this down.
Okay.
I was at a massive Asian water park built into the side of a mountain with tons of rides, right? And you're like, Ruiz, how did you know it's Asian? Everyone there was Asian.
Okay, that's fair.
And it's obviously like in Mongolia, and all the rides were Asian themed, like dragons and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Right? So I was there, and it was just me with all these other Asians. And I was like a giant among men. I was a towering white, colonizer amongst all these East Asians. But I kept going on these rides and riding them incorrectly because I didn't speak their language. Because I couldn't read the rules. Wow. I mean, I can't read the rules, and they're very complex, Jay. These rides are...
It's the Asians.
Super complex, right? And they kept getting, super mad at me, right? And the lines were just insanely long, and the whole park was just absurdly packed. It was just, so packed for whatever reason. And I go on one of the rides, and I end up destroying the water slide. I don't know how I did it. I just, broke it into a million pieces. Because it was made out of, ice. It was like an ice water slide. And you would, slide down it on your belly like a penguin. And there would be spikes. It's like a mobile game. There would be, spikes in the middle of it. And you would have to, go and dodge between the spikes. And I guess, I hit one of the spikes, but it didn't, kill me. I just, ripped the slide. I just broke it. Just shattered it in a million pieces.
Okay.
But then, so I get off the ride. And they're like, Quah. I'm not going to imitate because I don't want to lose my job.
Yeah, I know. You're on thin ice.
Yeah, I know. But after I broke the slide, they told me I had to pay for everything.
Yeah.
Because I guess I had broken a lot of things with my fat white colonizer body. And I obviously didn't have the money. So I leave. I'm running through the mountains of Mongolia and running. And again, I'm wearing just swim trunks. I was at a park. I was just at a park. And they set out a bounty hunter to find me.
Ooh.
And I wrote this. This is at 3 o'clock in the morning. I am hiding from the Federals in the wood of East Asia while I'm being tracked down by a bounty hunter. And then I fell back asleep.
Stress, brother. That's mad stress.
So I wrote total sleep 10 hours, 47 minutes.
Woo!
And I didn't write the deep sleep for whatever reason. 3 hours and 28 minutes of REM sleep.
Wow.
So this was a very long dream. Very long, right? So, again, these are all threat. I guess now that we're analyzing, these are all just threat.
They are.
I'm an anxious guy.
High anxiety.
I am a very high... All of these are stressful. Thursday, April the 3rd. So this is 2 days after that. I went to Applebee's with Jay and his family.
Aww.
It was just your mother and father and you and I, though. No Kayla, for whatever reason.
Man.
She's dead, I guess, in the stream.
No!
Right? But it's pouring rain. Right? And I was talking to you about maybe going to the beach in the morning. And your mom was like, I'll drive us right now. Let's go to the beach. Again, it's nighttime. We just got out of this Applebee's. This is a very short drive. Just got out of this Applebee's, and your mom's like, no, let's go to the beach right now. It's raining. It's in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
And so I okay, I guess. So I just started looking at the map and trying to tell her where to go. And we're again, it's raining. It's Florida raining, middle of the night.
Right, yeah.
And there's traffic and it's a nightmare. So eventually we just end up at the beach in the middle of the night. And I'm okay, let's go snorkeling.
At night.
With your whole family. And we're just snorkeling in this and apparently we're in the most beautiful part of Florida that has all of these beautiful underwater plants and stuff. And I was just navigating the waters underwater, and I was just looking at all the coral reefs with your family, you and your family, and it was just a beautiful scenery.
Look at my mom being spontaneous.
Yeah.
Oh.
9 hours and 15 minutes total sleep, hour 54 of deep, and 2.5 hours of REM sleep.
That was one of your long dreams. Longer dream nights.
These are long. Again, I'm summarizing them. I try to keep them short because I don't want to. Yeah. So that one's obviously a fantasy of mine, a desire to be incorporated in your family.
Yeah, I'll let my dad know.
So then the next night, another I guess a good night. No, this one was stressful. I remember this one. Friday, April 4th. This was last Friday. I was on a vacation in Hawaii, and there was a tsunami coming. There was a big tsunami coming, and we were staying at an Airbnb on the water, at the beach on the water, and there was these little islands out. Where we would look out in the water, and there would be these little maybe the size of that table. Yeah. And there was animals trapped on the islands, and I kept having to jump before the tsunami into the water and in these big waves, and save I saved a pig, I saved a dog or some kind of wolf or something like that, and yeah, it doesn't make any sense because we were on the beach and there was a tsunami coming. So even if I would have saved all the animals, we just stayed in the house. We're gonna be safe in the house. And we were going to die.
You didn't let them die alone, though.
The pig. You're right. No, sorry, it wasn't. I did save a wolf, but I also saved a jaguar. One of the black, a black jaguar.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's spicy.
Also, while there's a tsunami coming, we see the wave. We look up. It's again. This is like Hawaii. It's very tropical and everything like that. We look up, and there was a volcano going off at the same time.
Whoa.
But it was like super stressful because at one point I forgot how to swim, and so I'm trying to save a pig, and I'm drowning. I'm drowning in my dream. I'm drowning, trying to save a pig and take it to this beautiful like Airbnb on the water, and drowning.
That sounds like Roblox. There's this game, Natural
Tycoon.
Disasters on Roblox Tycoon. That guy knows what I'm talking about.
That guy knows what you're talking about.
He knows what I'm talking about. Fire game. I'm sorry. Keep going though. After 2 natural disasters, that was it. That was it. After
that's the whole dream.
Wow.
Insane.
So crazy. And I'm sorry.
There's like smaller dreams. I do remember vaguely, but like I didn't want to incorporate them because I remember so little. Like I remember one time we were looking down in the water. We were like walking out in the woods, and there was like this stream, and there was like little river otters like swimming, and we're like, oh, how cute. And I saw a buddy of mine that I grew up in like when I was a kid, and I saw him in my dream. But like it's all vague, so I didn't want to like incorporate it. That though, like almost drowning, saving the pig while there's a tsunami and a volcano going off. I very vividly remember that. Very stressful. Very stressful. Wow. So then finally, this is the last one, guys. I promise. I know I just took up so much of your time. It's so boring. Monday, April 7th. That was this Monday. Yeah. This one is insane. This one I think is the most biblical out of all of them.
Okay.
Monday, April 7th. I was at a state fair / job fair. So you know like the fairgrounds here in Florida right there? It was like that, like a big like expo hall, and we're just walking around.
Got it.
So it was essentially just a normal state fair, except there was a ton of booths of people just like looking for jobs. So it was like a state fair, but instead of like food stands, it was people being like, hey, come work for me, right? And I was walking around trying to find my booth for my company that I work at currently, right?
Yeah.
And it was inside the expo hall. I'm like, where's it? I can't find it anywhere. So I walk outside the doors to like the convention center, and there is this like large stage, and they're playing like, you know, pumped up music. Like, are you guys ready to get hyped? There's like a guy like, come on. And they're like, we're going to bring out our special guest. They're like, we're going to bring out the special guest.
Yeah.
Right? And I was like, oh, yeah, I forgot my mission. Grimace. The big purple guy.
No.
From McDonald's walks out. He's wearing a pair of like colorful pants and clown shoes. And he comes out and he's like, and it's very clearly like, not like a creature. It's like someone in a costume.
Yeah.
And while he's like walking out, like from this, he like comes out from this curtain, is walking to the side of the stage to like climb up. He's like walking, and he's like, yo, you know, you can tell he's like got his arms like that. Right. And when he goes like this, his I swear this is my dream. I swear I'm not making this up. His pants fall down, and he has a massive hog. Massive purple monster, dude. In my dream, in my analysis, I put it looks like a 5-pound meat tube from Costco. A purple 5 that looks like this.
What? Oh my gosh! We're not putting that on the screen now.
Put it on the screen. Put a 5-pound Costco meat tube on the screen.
We just talked about putting this on kids' content. We went up in the dinosaurs. Oh my gosh.
So Grimace's hog falls out, and everyone just starts being like, oh my god, like screaming. Which, by the way, why does this puppet have a dongle?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then I wake up. That's the
dream.
So obviously this one's biblical. Whenever the Bible talks about dreams and prophecy, this is what it was talking about.
Bro.
So total sleep on that bad boy was 7 hours 39 minutes, hour 43 of deep sleep, and 2 hours and 20 minutes of REM.
Oh my gosh! Wow. Well, did you get heart rate in that by any chance?
I did not keep track. I'm sure it was 140 the whole
I'm sure
night.
That was the highest heart rate you had.
I was fired up. Jay, I woke up laughing. I woke up on Monday vividly. Like, I woke up and was crying.
Crying laughing.
Crying laughing. Like, my side hurt.
Oh
I woke up, Jay, to laughing. I was laughing in my dream to real life. I must have been in my room. My family, if they would have been awake, must have thought I was psychotic.
Insane.
Just,
Yeah.
Just dying and waking up laughing with my, like, gripping my side like this.
Yeah.
Because I got to see Grimace's fat hog. 5-pound meat tube, purple meat tube.
That is hilarious, bro. I don't know where that falls into desire.
Desire for sure. Definitely desire for Sigmund Freud.
You're set on that?
I'm set on that.
Okay.
But I just thought it would be fun. I know that I probably should have only kept about 3 of those, but I thought it'd be fun just to kind of Because every single one of those I described to you, I can still see in my head.
Wow.
Even today.
Wow.
2 weeks later, I can still see the first dream of Bryce Harper in that beat up red Ford F-150 driving me down and swerving in oncoming traffic.
And that's 100% because you wrote them down.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Whatever time I woke up, I would just write it down.
Right.
I would voice type it. That's why it's all like very. If I would have read it directly to you, it would have sounded like a toddler wrote it. So I had to kind of condense it.
Yeah,
But yeah, I just thought it'd be fun because you out there, if you want to live vicariously through my dreams, feel free to think of Grimace's member, Bryce Harper, and East Asian water parks in the Mongolian mountains.
I think that's the big three.
That's the big three. So all of you at home who are missing out on vivid dreams, count it as a blessing. Really count your blessings this week. That's what I want you to take home from this week. Think about how fortunate you are at what you don't get to see and experience. Yeah. And how stressful all those dreams are. That's just one extra stress you don't have to worry about.
Truthfully, man. That was a really cool log that you had there, though.
I'm done logging my dreams. No. I think some things are best left unsaid.
And I know you're supposed to give me the challenges, but here's my challenge to myself now. Is I need to log at least 2 dreams until next episode. Yeah. Because that's so sick.
Tell me that's not the coolest thing.
That really is. I would have never thought. That's a really cool concept on it.
Yeah, I wish that they were like I said, I wish I could like show you guys a video of like what happened in my brain. I wish there's a way you could have like a USB drive and just plug it in, because if you could see them, you would be like, yeah, like it's so. The fact that I so vividly remember them is bonkers to me, especially because like I said, I've talked to a lot of people and they're like, first of all, I don't dream. Second of all, I don't remember it if I do, and third of all, if I do remember them, it's very like lame. It's like, oh, I forgot my pants in class or something stupid. Mine's are like, oh, I'm getting chased by federal agents and bounty hunters and tsunamis and getting attacked by a shark.
That's next level. And the thing is, everyone probably has those crazy dreams. It's just a matter of if you make the effort to remember.
Start telling strangers on the streets about your dreams, guys. Start going up and telling strangers, be like, I had a dream last night.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, that's how you got pen on paper for all the biblical dreams that happen, right? It's like you had to tell somebody.
I wonder if any of those Bible guys thought I've dreamt of Grimace.
I know.
Got a prophetic dream of Grimace at the state fair. Job fair.
Not all that. No. But man, I think I wonder where deja vu comes into all of that.
Deja vu is crazy for me, by the way, guys.
Yeah?
Yeah, because one of these days I'm going to be at a state fair and Grimace is going to come out trying to hype up the crowd. I'm like, no.
And you logged it here.
Yeah.
You might have just had the breakthrough case.
Oh, man. So, guys, if you wanted to, you could just not watch the second half of we'll go ahead and put an alert at the beginning of this one. Just go ahead and skip this at Jay's.
No, you have to get through this one, bro. That was awesome.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
No, I enjoyed this week with you, man.
Yeah.
I think we had a fun week this week.
Absolutely.
I think this will be our breakthrough episode. Maybe we'll break 20 views. Please. And 2 likes. Yeah, guys, if we could get 2 likes on this video, 2 thumbs up for Jay's universal dilemma.
Can I shoot for the stars real quick?
Shoot for the stars.
4 likes.
4 likes and 30 views.
I think it's possible. I think it's possible with you.
Guys, if we break 50 views on this video, Jay will shave his head and I will do a hot tub live stream.
Guys, please.
Please let this hit 50 likes.
Please. Yeah, man. But no, really successful week. I'm glad we were able to get together today, man.
It's a blast. Yeah. It really is a blast. Thank you guys, whoever you are, for tuning in. Jay and I would do this with no audience like we're doing right now. And we would also do it if there was 1.5 million of you guys tuning in every single week, regardless of who or where you are. Absolutely. You guys rule. And to the 3 people that are unaccounted for on our view list, you're the reason why we do this. So
the whole reason.
Stay strong, stay long, and be good.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
All right, guys. We'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.